They ended the division series by dominating the opposition. Cleveland's Jarrett Wright off to an early shower as New York erupted for 5 first-inning runs against the young starter. Amazing defensive plays like this one by Derek Jeter held the Yankee lead intact in yet another near-perfect performance by David Wells. Only a 9th-inning home run soiled what might have been the Yankees' 3rd shutout in 4 playoff games this year. But don't count the Indians out yet. They seem to thrive on series comebacks, including 4 consecutive Game 2 wins in the playoffs. But the Yankees look poised and ready to crush anything in their path. Game 2 is next. Major League Baseball International's coverage of the American League Championship Series continues today. Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, New York, Game 2. The Cleveland Indians need a win to even this series at 1 apiece, having been blown away by the Yankees 7-2 in Game 1 last night. Welcome, everybody. Yankee Stadium will be full again today. Delighted to have you with us. Gary Thorne and Ken Singleton. Joe Torre, skipper of the New York Yankees, saying it again this morning. Starting pitching is where it all begins and ends. And for the Yankees, it began and ended very well for them yesterday.
Yeah, it was David Wells on the mound. He continues to pitch very well, to coin a phrase, if you will. He pitched well last night. 7 strikeouts against the Cleveland Indians, and good breaking ball, good fastball for David Wells, as he has been one of the top pitchers, as all the Yankee starters have been.
Folks, those numbers are unbelievable. In postseason 4-0 to have an earned run average of .75, allowing only 5 walks with 35 strikeouts. You are not going to get wins against a team that is pitching that well. That's what the Cleveland Indians face in this game. Where do they find the offense?
Well, they found it in their number 4 hitter last night. They made a statement in the 9th inning against David Wells. It was Manny Ramirez, the hottest hitter maybe in all of baseball right now, as he homered against David Wells in the 9th inning, put 2 runs on the board for the Cleveland Indians. There are only 2 runs in the 7-2 loss. Manny Ramirez has been as hot as anybody in baseball. 2
for 4 in the ballgame last night, now .389 in this year's postseason compared to the .298 during the regular season, and he continues on a home run tear that he had in the final month of this past regular season. If starting pitching is where it all begins and ends for the New York Yankees, they start with a 20-game winner.
Well, that's today. David Cone will hit the mound. 120 this year, lost only 7. And David Cone, earlier this year, he pitched against the Cleveland Indians right here at Yankee Stadium and won. He had 12 strikeouts in that ball game. 5 days later against the Indians, got a case of Tomei poisoning. Jim Tomei with a home run. David Cone, I should say, lost that ball game.
Tomei poisoning. You are a word master. Take a look at the numbers on this 20-game winner, including 12 wins and 2 losses here at Yankee Stadium this year. 28-7 in his career at Yankee Stadium. That's what the Indians are up against. They counter with a 15-game winner.
Yeah, the top winner on the Cleveland staff is Charles Nagy. He's the one they're going to go to try and even up this series today. Now, he pitched early against the Yankees this year and won a ball game in Cleveland. Was 1-0 with a no decision and has a good breaking ball. Has to keep his sinker and slider down to be effective against the Yankees today.
You see the 2 career wins he has in the postseason. Both have been against the Red Sox, including his last outing, where he came up with just a 1 run on 4 hits in 8 innings. Cleveland does not do well in Game 1s. Can Nagy do better against Cone in Game 2? And how about those Game 2s? Julie Croteau when we come back. Back here at Yankee Stadium, cloudy skies for this Game 2. Before we get to that, though, a look back at Game 1. And Cleveland would rather not. Julie Croteau.
Thanks, Gary. Well, last night marked the 8th time that the Cleveland Indians lost the first game in their playoffs. This is the most that any major league team has done in history. I spoke with Mike Hargrove about this, and he told me he feels that this is happening because the opposing teams have that number 1. They have that ace in their pitching staff that can come out and really demand a win, whereas the Cleveland Indians have a very strong staff. They don't have that number 1. The good news for Cleveland Indian fans, however, is that they are much stronger on game number 2 in the playoff series. They have a record record of 6-2. I'm here with Omar Vizquel. Omar, what is your theory on this game number 1 curse?
Well, I don't really know how to explain it. You know, I guess like my Hargrove say, we haven't been able to get to that number 1 ace in every series in the pitching staff, and we just for some reason come back hard in the second game, and we know how to approach the second game with a different mentality since we're down in the series. Obviously, we've been here before, and we don't have any pressure in our side.
Well, baseball is huge in Latin America. In fact, this year there are more Hispanic players than there are African American players in the major leagues. Do you think they're following you in Venezuela?
No doubt about it. I think they're following not only the Cleveland Indians, but every ball team out there. We got a representative in every team. With the San Diego Padres, we have Carlos Hernandez. With the Yankees, we got Luis Sojo. And with the Braves, we have Andres Galarraga, Ozzie Guillen, and Eddie Perez. I think they're really enjoying this series.
Well, the Cleveland Indians certainly seem confident about tonight. The mood in the clubhouse was very light and very playful. Gary?
Julie, thank you very much. So we'll see whether or not the Cleveland Indians can make hay again as we get set for game 2 here at Yankee Stadium. They won't have any problems with the sun glare in this game as David Cone takes to the mound to make the start for the New York Yankees. Let's take a look at the lineup that'll be out with some changes for the Cleveland Indians. Kenny Lofton in center, Omar Vizquel moving up to the number 2 hole at short. David Justice, Manny Ramirez, Jim Thome, Travis Fryman, Brian Giles, Sandy Alomar, and Joey Cora. Omar Vizquel out of Venezuela talking with Julie just moments ago. Dominican Republic's Manny Ramirez and Sandy Alomar and Joey Cora hitting 8 and 9 from Puerto Rico.
Here's a look at David Cone. We mentioned the fact he's a 20-game winner, second time in his career, but 10 years in between the 20-game seasons for David Cone. 20-7 with an excellent earned run average of 3.55. Struck out over 200 hitters this year. Second year in a row he's done that for the Yankees. And David Cone has various pitches, throws from different arm angles, very creative on the mound. When he needs to make up a pitch to get somebody out, he can do it. He'll drop down, throw sidearm, and use that breaking ball. Very exceptional breaking ball that strikes out a lot of right-handed hitters. And behind David Cone this afternoon as the Yankees try and make it 2 in a row here at the stadium. Defensively in the infield, Brosius, Jeter, Knobloch, and Martinez. In the outfield, Spencer, Williams, and O'Neill. Joe Girardi doing the catching for David Cone. And David Cone's last 50 starts for the New York Yankees, Joe Girardi has been his catcher 49 times. The only exception, once this year, Girardi had back spasms, and the catcher was Jorge Posada. But they work very well together. You won't see David Cone shake off many pitches. They kind of think alike when you've been back there as a team so often.
We mentioned what a great combination that has been for the Yankees to have a situation like this where you've got Girardi who can come out and catch a starter every day. Gives Joe Torre the flexibility of keeping 2 catchers very active, and they have produced not only behind the plate in calling the games, but what they've done at the plate offensively. Outstanding.
Yeah, we mentioned that the fact is maybe Posada's hit more home runs, but they have produced over 90 runs batted in out of those 2 hitters, Girardi and Posada, out of the catching spot for the Yankees.
There's the skipper at Cleveland, Mike Hargrove, hoping that today they can get this evened up and send them back to Cleveland for the next 3 games. Ted Hendry will be the home plate umpire. John Shulock, Larry Young, Tim Welke, Jim McKean, and Jim Evans, who worked the plate last night, moves out to the right field line. And we are ready to go. David Cone this season 1-1 against this ball club, the Cleveland Indians. 5-4 lifetime. Cone has put up spectacular numbers since coming over to the New York Yankees, and he will be a tough man for Cleveland to go against here in this game. Kenny Lofton will be leading it off. Lofton had an 0 for 4 in the ball game last night. Most of these Cleveland hitters have faced David Cone a number of times, so they know what he throws. That, however, does not help many hitters against David Cone. 35-year-old right-hander's ready to go. Lofton taking a pitch, and it's down low for ball 1.
David Cone was a question mark at the beginning of the season for the Yankees, coming off shoulder surgery. 2 years in a row he's had surgery on his pitching arm.
Lofton puts that one to fairly deep center field. It's playable, though. On the warning track, Williams puts it away. Kenny Lofton is retired, 1 down.
Well, Kenny Lofton did hit a home run in the series against the Boston Red Sox in the previous division series, but it's a long way to center field here at Yankee Stadium, and he tested the furthest reaches of the ballpark.
That's why you can get fly ball pitchers here at Yankee Stadium can be successful if you keep that ball in the power alleys and towards the middle. You just don't want it pulled down the line where it's 314 down the right field line and 318 down the left field line. Those are the short porches here at Yankee Stadium. Left field, right field. But in the middle, big meadows. And a strike taken by Omar Vizquel. Vizquel against the right-hander moves up in the lineup. See that 408 to center field, and that's short compared to what it used to be here at Yankee Stadium, when you had to hit the ball about 520 feet in center field. Vizquel 1 for 3 in the ball game last night. Switch hitter. When he's batting right-handed, bats down in the bottom of the lineup. When he's up against a right-hander, he's up in that number 2 hole. Cohn's breaking ball fouled off, 2-strike count on Vizquel.
Vizquel, everybody knows that he's an excellent fielder. I think his hitting is somewhat overrated. He hit 288 this year. He's always around the 280, 290 mark. Maybe not much power, but he's one of the better hitters for the Cleveland Indians with runners in scoring position. And
he's 8 for 33 lifetime off David Cohn. He, like many of these hitters, having seen a lot of this 35-year-old right-hander. David Cohn, never knowing how long the shoulder and arm will last for him in any given game, but it keeps lasting. At the age of 35, he's delivered a lot of pitches. We talked to Joe Torre this morning about a pitch count. They keep a pitch count on all of their pitchers. How many pitches have they thrown in a game? Now Stottlemyre, you see he's got the clicker. I think
that's the counter.
He's got the counter right there. He'll keep count. When they get near 100 for Cohn, they begin to look intently. He's got his second out. Spencer in left field puts it away. Vizquel 2 down. So we'll keep an eye on the pitch count as well today. More importantly, of course, is how well is a pitcher throwing, not just how many pitches has he thrown in a game.
Yeah, early in his career, David Cohn was somewhat obsessed with strikeouts, getting people out by the strikeout route. But when you do that, you use up a lot of pitches. Now, as he's gotten later on in his career, he'll take the fly ball out on the first pitch or second pitch.
Cohn's got 2 down, nobody on. Joe Torre also telling us this morning, as you see David Justice, you can usually tell early whether David Cohn will be on. He starts out quickly. He gets in a rhythm early, Joe Torre said, and that means he's on. Well, if he gets 1, 2, 3 here in this inning, he'll be on. David Justice, who started in left field in last night's game, as promised by the manager, gets moved into the designated hitter role for this game. He was 1 for 4 in the ball game last night. Comes out of left field. 2-0 delivery to him is outside, and Cohn falls behind 3-0.
David Justice made less than 20 starts in the outfield this year because of that sore knee.
Taking that pitch, 3-1.
But it looked to me last night that he put himself very well out in the outfield. There was a lot of concern, a lot of expanse out in left field. Not only David Justice, but for Shane Spencer, who's not known as a speedster out in left field. But Mike Hargrove felt that Justice could do the job.
Going for the long ball right there with 2 down, nobody on early in the game. Justice thought about taking him deep. 3-2.
Here's a look at the last pitch, and looked to be a split finger. He had a good swing at it, but fouled it off.
Justice, 21 home runs during the regular season. Yankee fans on their feet early here, applauding for the strikeout. 3-2. Walked him. David Cohn cut down on the walks surrendered this year. In fact, for his career, he had the best season and fewest walks per 9 innings, just over 4 per game. So he, too, became more of a control pitcher this season, Kenny.
Well, that helps you out. You limit the opportunities for the opposition by putting men on base, as he just did with David Justice, and brings the hot-hitting Manny Ramirez to the plate.
This is the guy that you don't want to have up when there are people on base. If you're the opposition pitcher, you just assume he never came up, actually, but he's got to get a chance, and those numbers are the reason why. Ramirez has had a spectacular year. And that misses outside of the slider. Ball one.
It's almost the exact opposite of Omar Vizquel, that Ramirez's fielding has greatly improved this year. Takes a lot of fly balls, works hard on getting himself set, ready to throw the ball while he's practicing. So his overall game has improved.
A towering pop-up behind first base in foul territory. Tito Martinez. Ramirez is retired. One walk-off cone, but that's all, as Ramirez is the third out. Yankees coming up. Major League Baseball International's presentation of the 1998 American League Championship Series, brought to you by MasterCard. Back here at Yankee Stadium, the Yankees coming to the plate, trying to duplicate what they did yesterday in the first inning. Here's the lineup for the Yankees. Knobloch, Jeter, and O'Neill. Bernie Williams out of Puerto Rico. In center field batting cleanup, Tito Martinez. Tim Raines, the DH today. Shane Spencer, another start in left. Scott Brocious at third. And Joe Girardi in the lineup. Didn't play yesterday. He's doing the catching. And Nagy is ready to go. Knobloch had a 1 for 5. And Nagy's in with a strike.
Numbers on Charles Nagy: 15 and 10 at high earned run average, 5.22. That means he allows over 5 runs per game. Allowed a lot of hits, 250 hits at 210 in the third innings.
Knobloch to short. Omar Vizquel. And already he's ahead of Wright. One down, nobody on.
Now we see Omar Vizquel at shortstop, where he has been a 5-time Gold Glove winner the last 5 seasons. And the rest of the defense for the Cleveland Indians. Around the infield, it's Fryman, Vizquel, Cora, and Tomei. In the outfield, Giles, Lofton, Ramirez, Alomar doing the catching for Charles Nagy.
Giles out there with Justice doing the designated hitter role today.
And Brian Giles in the outfield now. He is sharing a position with Shane Spencer, the Yankees. These two played on the same high school baseball team in California.
Granite Hills near San Diego, California, where they played high school ball together. Jeter up. 1 down, nobody on. 1-0 count on the Yankee shortstop. 2 for 4 and a spectacular defensive play in the ball game last night. Charles Nagy got it in center field. Kenny Lofton backing up, warning track. Whoa, right at the base of the wall. Lofton up with it. It'll be a double for Jeter.
Jeter's improved power this year. It takes 2 to make it go right. It takes 47 to make it go out of sight. This one almost went out of sight. Fastball right down the middle of the plate, right in the happy zone for any hitter. Kenny Lofton, even with all of his speed, couldn't come up with it. But fortunately for the Indians, his ball does not bounce that far away from him after it hits the wall, and Jeter is held to a double. Jeter with 19 home runs this year. That's a record for a Yankee shortstop in a single season. 19 home runs, improved power from the Yankee shortstop.
So Nagy in trouble here in the first inning with a runner at second base. Jeter delivering the double, and Paul O'Neill 2 for 5 in the ball game last night. And O'Neill a 300-plus hitter against Charles Nagy in his career. The Yankees went 5 for 16 with runners in scoring position last night, including 4 for 7 in the first inning. They had a ton of scoring opportunities last night. They've got Jeter in scoring position here in the first inning at second base. A 1-0 count on Paul O'Neill. And the pitch missed outside to him. 2-0. Leading RBI man, one of them for this ball club. He has already delivered a couple of RBIs here in the postseason and has 1 postseason home run. Jeter, good lead at second base. O'Neill off the fist to left field. Giles is there, puts it away. 2 down, big out for Nagy.
Charles Nagy using the breaking ball to get Paul O'Neill out. This is a curveball. You see the straight down action on it. He also throws a split finger, which will move away and go down from a left-handed hitter. We talked to Mike Hargrove earlier today, and he said that he felt early in the season when Nagy was giving up a lot of home runs. He gave up 25 home runs in the first half of the season, only 9 in the second half. He thought he was using his split finger too early in the count. That is more like a put-away pitch. You show it only once. That's when you want to strike somebody out.
Now with 2 down, runner at second, Bernie Williams. And Williams takes the pitch inside for a ball. Against Nagy, the left-handers hit .270. Right-handers a spectacular .323.
That would tell you that his breaking ball wasn't that good during the course of the season. Sometimes it would flatten out when it tries to get it away from right-handed hitters.
There's a breaking ball in there for a strike.
That's a good one. That had a sharp break and a late break to it and dropped into the strike zone. Here's another look at it. The target is low and inside. So he misses the target but still picks up a strike. That's one thing to watch. If he can't locate that curveball where he wants and gets it in a bad spot, he'll go as far as any pitch he can throw.
1 ball, 1 strike count. Bernie Williams with a runner at second. The high strike called right there, 1-2. Keep that in mind. If Ted Hendry's going to give that pitch, that'll give left-handed hitters some problems.
Now this pitch will start maybe a little bit off the corner, then have a little tail to it as it kind of moves away from Bernie Williams right to the inside corner for a called strike.
1 ball, 2 strike count. Jeter off second. 2 down. Went away from him that time. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Another sinking fastball. Yeah, the pitches that are thrown to the plate all have some sort of movement on them. Sometimes the pitchers will throw a curve, a splitter that will are intended to break away and break sharply. Fastball, maybe not quite as much, but a little bit of movement right at the end. When a hitter swings the bat, thinks the ball is in one area, then the ball, as soon as it gets to home plate, it moves, and you top it or foul it off. The whole idea is not to let the hitter hit the ball solidly.
2-2 delivery to Bernie Williams, and he struck him out with a great breaking ball down and in. That is a big inning for Mike Hargrove and the Cleveland Indians to get through the first without giving up a run, and Nagy did it. No score after 1. Yankee Stadium on a cloudy day. Chance of a shower this afternoon, kind of breezy, wind blowing from right to left field. Here at Yankee Stadium, Game 2 of the American League Championship Series. Want to remind you about our website. We'd love to hear from you at www.worldseries.com. And Judy and Donovan DeCock, who are Yankee fans from Johannesburg, South Africa, thank you. Received a message from you after the game last night, and glad to have you on board and watching us. And all of you who logged in with us, thanks. We hope you'll do so, and we're going to get to some of your questions today.
See if we can explain the game of baseball just a little bit more clearly.
Oh boy. Oh boy. They're in trouble now. We go to the second inning, and Jim Thome, playing at first base today, 0 for 3 in game 1, will lead it off. Fryman and Giles to follow against David Cone.
Jim Thome originally came up to the Cleveland Indians as a third baseman. When the Indians got Matt Williams, they moved Jim Thome over to first base. Did a great job over there. Matt Williams moved on to Arizona, and Travis Fryman now mans third base.
Well, a position change that didn't seem to do much to the bat of this guy. 28-year-old, he's a 280-plus career hitter, including the numbers from this last season. And Cone's down low to him, 2 balls and no strikes.
It's very difficult to get Jim Thome to chase a bad pitch. Usually will bring the pitches into the strike zone before he swings.
He has that big cut. He did struggle coming back off the disabled list. He hit just 195 in the final 12 games of the year. Those are 12 games after he came off the DL. So he's still trying to get his swing back to where it was for most of the season prior to the injury.
He has power to all fields, although it might not apply as much here at Yankee Stadium. He's among the league leaders in opposite field home runs. In other words, when he gets a pitch out over the plate, he can drive it almost as far as a right-handed hitter could.
David Cone, who strikes out a lot of batters, 5th in strikeouts in the league, gets one right there. Number 1 in the game.
Here's a look at a good fastball. The target to Joe Girardi is inside, and the ball just about hits the glove. Moves the glove just a little bit. Let's see if it does catch the corner. Now, it might have been a little bit inside, but it was close enough for Ted Hendrick. Sometimes those veteran pitchers will get the benefit of the doubt on the close pitches.
Thome struck out 141 times this year. He's a man who hits them either deep or strikes out a lot. One down, nobody on. Travis Fryman. Fryman had an 0 for 4 in the opening ball game. David Cone ahead on the count, evened up there. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Travis Fryman got off to an awful start this season. Hit under 200 for May, but from May on he hit over 300 and got his numbers up to respectability.
That ball to center field. Bernie Williams. 2 down. Fryman on the fly ball out. And already in this game, David Cone with 3 balls to the outfield and 1 to the infield. So he's getting the ball up in the air for outs in this game. That's not unusual for David Cone. As we said, as long as they're hit towards the middle part of this ballpark, he'll take them. 2 down, bases are empty. And Brian Giles. Giles getting the start in left field, did not make an appearance in the first game of this series. With right-handed pitchers, he'll be the regular out there in left field. Giles 2 for 10 in the postseason. 1 ball, 1 strike count on it.
It's a long baseball season. Injuries play a part with every ball club, and Brian Giles was out from May 30th to July 8th.
Another one popped up behind the plate. Girardi back and has room. So David Cone gets it done in a hurry as he retires the Indians in order, including a strikeout and a little help from his catcher. Yankees coming up bottom half of the. He grew up less than an hour from Yankee Stadium in Fairfield, Connecticut. Went to the University of Connecticut, and now Charles Nagy, you're pitching here.
I mean, it's a big thrill. Growing up, my dad was a big Yankee fan, so that's all we watched growing up, and this was the only place we came. He took us to ball games, so it's a lot of fun coming back here. I remember my dad, my first year in the big leagues, he goes, "No, I knew you were in the big leagues, but until you pitched at Yankee Stadium, then it really hit me that you were in the big leagues."
Guess his father's a believer now. And a strike taken as Nagy goes to work against Tino Martinez.
Well, you might understand what his dad says, that not really a major leaguer until you pitch here. So many historical things have happened in this ballpark. Now 75 years old.
And a ground ball to first. That is a fair ball. Nagy will cover. Flip made, and they get the out. Had the lines pretty well covered on that one as Thome was over towards the foul line. 1 down.
Here's a look at the play. The ball kind of hugs the line right over the bag. You can see it's definitely a fair ball. That's John Shulock, the first base umpire, with the call as Nagy gets over a couple of steps ahead of Tino Martinez. Well, watch it. Thome hasn't played all that much first base of late. Richie Sexton's got a lot of time over there, but Thome shows his dexterity in making the play.
1 down. Tim Raines, designated hitter. Again for the Yankees. He was 0 for 2 in the ballgame last night, and he takes the strike. The Yankee designated hitters combined this year finished with a .276 average. That was 8th in the American League for designated hitters as far as batting average was concerned. Raines, the inside corner pitch misses. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yeah, several players had that role, including Raines, Darryl Strawberry. Chili Davis was supposed to be the designated hitter in about the 3rd or 4th game of the year. He went out for the majority of the season with an ankle injury that required surgery.
And a strike taken.
And at the end of the season, he came back around middle of August, maybe late August, and Chili Davis was put immediately into the lineup by Joe Torre to try and get him ready for postseason. And Chili had some success. Hit the ball pretty well down the stretch. But Tim Raines gets the start today.
A 1 ball, 2 strike count on Raines. Nagy with 1 down, nobody on. You'll notice those letters that are TRA on Tim Raines' hat. A 7-year-old youngster who was a member of a family in Florida that Tim Raines were friends with, died of cancer on Monday. Trey Lemon was the youngster's name. Those are the initials he carries in this series on the helmet. Not happy about the call. Strike three. Has a long look and a couple of words for Ted Hendry. Hendry's strike zone, Ken, looks like it's pretty substantial.
Yeah, pretty substantial, and let's see what this last pitch does and where it is. It's moving away from Tim Raines. He doesn't believe maybe it wasn't high enough and it didn't have the corner. We have the benefit of the look. It did have the corner. It was just a question of whether the pitch was high enough or not. And high enough, what I mean by high enough, it's supposed to be the bottom of the knees for a called third strike. And it looked to be borderline, to say the least. Close enough that maybe with 2 strikes you should offer at it.
Nagy with 2 strikeouts in the game. 2 down, nobody on. And Shane Spencer again getting the start in left field. The 26-year-old rookie out of Key West, Florida, who had the spectacular finish. And the breaking ball misses outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Spencer can think long ball here early in the game. 2 down and nobody on. Go ahead and give it a big cut. And he's got a base hit. 2-out single.
Now, I really believe that Charles Nagy was lucky this ball was down in the strike zone that resulted in the base hit. Because one thing you want to do with the stronger hitters, you want to keep the ball away from them, especially when he's thinking a home run with 2 outs and nobody on. He might be thinking about going deep. Now, the bottom third of the order has produced a lot for the Yankees, not only in this series, but during the course of the season. They've done the job for them. They can score runs from any place in their batting order. Look at what they've done.
7, 8, and 9. That's a .432 combined batting average. .432 for the number 7, 8, and 9 hitters. And that's in the postseason, of course, and now they're at it again.
Yeah, most times when you get to the bottom third of the order, that's a rest spot for most pitchers. They can get through these guys easy, save their strength to get to the bigger hitters at the top of the order and in the middle. But that's not the case when you face the Yankees.
That's Scott Brocious, a 300 hitter, batting down in that 7, 8, and 9 hole. Throw over to first. Spencer back to the bag easily. Yankees picking up their second hit off Nagy with a single by Spencer. Boy, you wonder how Nagy won 15 games when he gave up the 3rd most hits of any pitcher in the league. 3rd most hits, 3rd most home runs, and more runs were scored off Charles Nagy than any other pitcher in the American League, and he won 15 games and lost 10.
I mentioned out of the 34 home runs, 25 of them came in the first half of the season. So he kind of got his act together and saved on those baseball charges in the second half.
0-2 the count. And the fastball misses inside. He finished the season, Nagy did, with a 5.22 earned run average. His career average, 4.10 for his major league career. So he was over a run higher in ERA this year than his career earned run average. Yet 1. That means you come up with big pitches and big moments.
It also means that your team usually scores for you too. If you're giving up a lot of runs, and the only way you're going to win is if your team scores more. But when you get to a playoff situation, you're facing the better pitchers in the league. So most of the times these games are fairly tight scoring. We've seen that throughout the postseason until last night.
His team scored 5.5 runs per start for him. Jarrett Wright never stayed in the game long enough last night. Strike 3 in the outside corner, and the Yankees are not happy with home plate umpire Ted Hendry. Scott Brocious didn't like that called 3rd strike. Tim Raines didn't like the one called on him. Nagy loves them all. Go to the 3rd inning at Yankee Stadium, game 2 of the American League Championship Series, and we remind you, love to hear from you. Where can you hear live play-by-play audio of all the postseason games and view video highlights? WorldSeries.com, the official postseason website of Major League Baseball. Check out San Diego's Ken Caminiti's postseason diary and items on the line store. You can also email Ken and I here in the booth with baseball questions. We'll be happy to answer as many as we can get to on the air. Just log in, let us know where you are, how you're enjoying the game, and if you have any questions, www.worldseries.com. It's a sight to see. Alomar takes on David Cone, and strike one. One strike count on Alomar, down to third. That one fouled off. A couple of hockey players. The National Hockey League season will begin this Friday in New York. A couple of them on hand. On the right, Darius Kasparaitis, who's right now injured, probably not going to be able to get back into play till about the middle of the season. Sergei Nemchinov on the left with him, foul back, as another pro season about to begin in the not only the United States but also in Japan. The National Hockey League will play 2 regular season games in Japan in the coming week. A couple of NHL teams over there and a couple of NHL players on hand here at Yankee Stadium. One for the Rangers and one who's going to sit and watch for a while. Deep to left field. Wind is blowing over towards the line. He just missed. Hauled in by Spencer. Alomar was close to having one right there.
Well, he pulled it to the right area of the ballpark for the chance to get a home run, but I believe he hit it just a little bit off the end of the bat, a little too quick, and he didn't get the good wood on it. Shane Spencer coming over towards the corner and hauling it in, a fairly routine catch for the left fielder. There you look at it right down the line and somewhat short of where Manny Ramirez hit that home run last night.
Strike taken by Joey Cora. Alomar retired. 0 for 4 now in this series. 0-1 the count. And Cone's breaking ball inside corner. Both clubs are struggling with Ted Hendry's strike zone.
If you can read Joey Cora's lips, he said that wasn't a strike, man. And here's a look at the breaking ball. Yeah, I think Joey Cora is right.
Hitters are going to have to adjust in this game to an umpire who's going to call a lot of strikes. 0-2 delivery. Breaking balls outside. 1-2 on Cora. Cora's had only 1 hit in 13 at bats so far in the postseason. He picked that hit up in game 1 last night, going 1 for 3. Fastball, had to reach for that one. Paul O'Neill diving, and he got it. And may have gotten hurt in the process.
Joe Torre is going to go out and check on his right fielder along with the trainer Gene Monahan. As Paul O'Neill with the all-out effort in right field enables him to make the catch. Now it doesn't look like maybe he got some dirt or grass or something in his eye, or maybe hurt his neck or head and kind of turned over on it. You can see he's kind of trying to shake the cobwebs loose. And it appears that he's going to be okay and able to continue. And Yankee fans surely enjoy that aspect.
O'Neill looked like he had a little, we told you about that wind. He had a little trouble, I think, judging this ball.
Well, we've seen outfielders make the sliding catches, but, you know, he was lucky that he didn't turn it over on his wrist. You see how he turned his wrist over to try and make sure he held on to the ball. Now, anytime you put that much weight on your forearm or wrist, you can risk an injury, but he's able to roll over and then stuns himself as he kind of lands on his head and the back of his neck. What an effort by O'Neill, and he holds on. An acrobatic play out in right field.
The grass is soft, but when you bang your head the way he did on that spin, it's not as soft as you wish. He's smiling again. So 2 down. David Cone continues to get fly ball out. 7 of the 8 outs he's recorded have been in the air. Fly ball pitcher. And with this room at Yankee Stadium in the outfield, one of the reasons he is so successful here, we showed you those numbers, 12 and 2 this year, pitching here at Yankee Stadium. Kenny Lofton. 2 down, nobody on. Scott Brocious moves in at third base. Lofton loves to lay down a bunt for a base hit. Given an opportunity, you see him turn right there, takes it, ball 1.
Yeah, Lofton's the all-time leader for the Cleveland Indians in stolen base. You see Brocious kind of moving back about even with the grass at third base, and he's the one that makes things happen. He has yet to get on base in this championship series.
David Cone falls behind on him, 2 balls and no strikes.
A 5-time All-Star.
Lofton laid down 27 bunts this year, 4th most in the league. Strike on the inside corner to him, 2-1. David Cone gives up about 4.1 walks per 9 innings. Not a lot. Kind of in the middle of the pack in that department. He'd like to have less, but with his stuff and the strikeouts he gets, that's not a bad number at all.
Not everybody can be David Wells.
Yeah. That one to right field. Paul O'Neill right away asked to get another one a lot easier this time. So David Cone retires the side in order. That's 7 in a row set down. And Paul O'Neill a fine defensive play to help his pitcher out. Game is still scoreless. Yankee Stadium scoreless. Cleveland needs a win to even this up at 1 apiece in the series. Paul O'Neill in, smiling, talking to teammates. So a little bump on the head. Not having any long-term effect on him.
The Yankees have not trailed in any one of their 4 postseason games this year.
And they're not trailing here. If you're a Cleveland fan, neither are they leading. And Girardi retired on the ground ball up. Joe Girardi getting his first at bat in this series. Travis Fryman throws him out. Number 9 hitter gone, 1 away.
It's not unusual to have Joe Girardi swing at the first fastball that he sees, and he got one there and pulled it on the ground to Fryman, who showed off a strong arm to throw it across the diamond and get Girardi out.
1 down. Nagy working impressively here early in this game. Leadoff batter. Has not been on base for the Yankees the first 3 innings. That's a key for any pitcher to have success in a ball game. That slurve pitch, kind of a combined slider curveball that he throws. You saw it right there. Has a little breakdown and also moves away from the hitter. One-0 count. Fastball that time in for a strike. 1-1 on Knobloch.
You saw Mike Hargrove there. We asked Mike Hargrove before the game, with Jarrett Wright getting knocked out in last night's game so early, would he use him in relief if he had to? In one of the other ball games, he said, no, I still got Doc Gooden down there. He used Doc Gooden in relief.
Burba.
Yeah, Dave Burba. 2 pitchers that were used in a starting role for the Indians during the year.
They are concerned about Jarrett Wright, who started that game. He's had 2 bad games in a row here in the playoffs. Right field and deep by Knobloch, but it's going to be in the eye. Right on the edge of the warning track. Ramirez hauls it in. Then there are 2 down.
Knobloch had a stretch where he homered in 3 consecutive games for the Yankees this year. That's not like Chuck Knobloch. He is not a home run hitter, but I think he caught the bug of hitting home runs and did have a career high with 17. And as the year went on, it was quite obvious he was trying to get 20 for the first time in his career. Now, he knows he didn't get all of it. Didn't get the good wood on it. It could only drive the ball as far as the warning track. When you get back to the bench, the guys will say a little guy hit it.
He's struggling now in the postseason as well. Only has a couple of hits and 18 at bats. 2 down. Nobody on. Derek Jeter coming up. Knobloch retired on the deep fly ball.
Yeah, we talked about the warning track and warning track power. It's kind of a joke among the players. You only hit it as far as the warning track. You're not able to get it over the wall. And why there is a warning track is the outfielders go back on the long fly balls. After they leave the grass and hit the dirt, they can feel it when they step onto the dirt with their spikes. And it tells them that they're getting close to the wall and you better slow down. Now, in the past, the walls were not padded as they are now. Outfielders are more expensive now than they were then.
So deserving of greater protection. Play made, and Jeter's retired. Took only 7 pitches for Charles Nagy to retire the Yankees in order in the 3rd inning. We have now completed 3. Zip, zip the stadium. So the Yankees done for Cleveland and no score in the ball game. Did you know the Atlanta Braves first baseman Andres Galarraga loves to paint when not on the field? Or Boston Red Sox shortstop Nomar Garciaparra, a big soccer fan? Well, you would if you watch Baseball Max. Each week we bring you the highlights from the American and National Leagues along with the player profiles, instruction, and more. It's Baseball Max. Check your local listings for the times in your country. David Cone checked to see if he went around. He did not. Jim Welke at third base making the call. Omar Vizquel leading it off for the Indians. Flied out to left field his first time up. Goes that way again, but this time foul. 1 ball, 1 strike on Vizquel.
Vizquel, like Lofton, who bats just in front of him in the order, an excellent bunter. And Scott Brosius once again in on the grass to protect against the potential bunt attempt. There it is.
He heard you. Even with Brosius moved in, he tried to lay that down and missed it. A ball and 2 strikes.
Well, if you get down a good bunt, no third baseman's going to get you.
0-1-2 delivery. Missed outside, floated the off-speed breaking ball. 2 balls, 2 strikes. One of the reasons David Cone is so effective, he throws a lot of pitches, number 1, but he throws all of them at varying speeds and from different release points. So it's like he has this permutation combination of pitches that makes it real tough to figure out what's coming. 3-2 delivery. Strike 3 inside corner, and once again a hitter doesn't like the call. And David Cone gets his second K.
And you mentioned a number of pitches that he has, and this is a 3-2 split finger fastball, and that usually dives as it gets to the plate. Stayed up long enough to be called a strike. Now, it will have the plate, as you can see. Had the corner, but Vizquel thought the pitch was going to be low. It was high enough for Ted Hendry. And as we get to look further on in this ball game, with 2 strikes, you're going to see hitters swinging a lot more.
They're going to have to. David Justice. Indication, Ken, 4 of the 5 strikeouts we have had in this game have been called third strikes. And Vizquel, the 5th strikeout victim in the ball game. David Justice, an 0-1 count. Cone got the breaking ball hung. Right field, O'Neill. Warning track. Wall. Goodbye. Home run. David Justice delivers a homer, and for the first time in 5 postseason games, the Yankees do not have the lead. Indians 1, Yankees nothing.
David Cone threw a curveball on the first pitch. He threw another one on the second, and Justice was waiting for it. And the ball went in the bleachers, and of course, Yankee fans, the tradition is now kind of spreading throughout baseball. When a visitor hits a home run, fans do not want it as a souvenir. They throw it back on the field. Now, if a Yankee hit one, they would keep it. Here's a look at the curveball. Well, he really went out and got that one. That was on the outer half of the plate. Justice got good one on it. He knew it. And it's into the seats for a home run.
David Cone had not given up a home run to a left-handed batter in his last 11 starts. Paul O'Neill tried, but it was gone. So that's the first time in his last 11 starts that a left-hander has picked up a home run off David Cone. And the breaking ball's in for a strike to Manny Ramirez. 1 ball, 1 strike. Justice with the homer, and Cleveland with the lead. That is the first hit off David Cone in the game. He gave up just 20 home runs this season. 12 of them were hit by left-handers.
David Justice hit a home run against the Yankees in the final week of the season here at Yankee Stadium. And went a lot further than that one did. Went way back into the bleachers. In fact, it was so far back to throw it back on the field, the fans had to use a relay.
That's a long home run. Justice now with 2 postseason home runs this year. And the other home run threat in this lineup, right behind him, Manny Ramirez. Ramirez continues on his home run tear. Torrey taking a look at that book that has all the pitcher-batter combinations and what they've done against one another. 2-2 delivery. Outside, 3-2 on Ramirez.
Yeah, there are a lot of charts in the dugouts and compiled by the scouts. The Yankees had 5 different scouts following the Indians the last few weeks of the season. They had Gene Michael, who was the director of scouting for the Yankees, Ron Brand, one of their scouts, Ron Hansen, Wade Taylor, and Bob Didier. All of them scouting the Cleveland Indians, and they compile all of that knowledge together, come up with a scouting report to go against Cleveland.
And he walked him. So after the home run by David Justice, David Cone gives up his second walk of the ball game. And Ramirez is on with one down here in the 4th inning. Middle of this order with Jim Thome, left-handed hitter, up now. Thome called strikeout victim his first time up. Thome's had 1 home run lifetime off David Cone. He is 5 for 19 coming into the ball game against the Yankee right-hander. Martinez will hold the runner. And he fouls that one off. Strike 1 on Thome.
That home run by Thome off Cone came up early this year in Cleveland.
He's got that big uppercut of a home run power hitter. Not a particularly level swing. One that looks to hit the fly ball. Ramirez back to first.
Yeah, Jim Thome was in the home run hitting contest at Coors Field this year and hit more home runs into the upper deck than any other hitter, although he finished second in the contest to Ken Griffey Jr.
Thought about going, didn't. Strike on the inside corner. He turns to talk to Hendry about whether he went around or whether it was a called strike. 0-2.
You know, certain umpires have reputations as good ball strike umpires, and you very rarely see the hitters turn around and say anything. So it might tell you something about Ted Hendry's ability to call balls and strikes when every hitter turns around and has something to say.
Ramirez again back to the bag with the 0-2 count on Jim Thome. One down. And a breaking ball missed outside. Wanted Thome to go chasing on that one. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Thome checking at third to see whether or not Ramirez is going to be put in motion here. Cone is thrown over a couple of times to keep him close. Runner not going. Fastball inside. And that'll even the count up at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
That is Jeff Newman, the third base coach, and within all of those signs and signals to over the Manny Ramirez, either something might be happening or nothing at all. Those signs come from the bench and the manager, who decides what he wants his base runners and hitters to do.
Ramirez stole only 5 bases during the regular season, but he might want a runner going here to try and stay out of a double play on a ground ball by Jim Thome.
You know, with all the hitters turning around and saying something to Ted Hendry, usually the hitters start it, then the umpires hear it from the benches, and that's when things get ugly.
There's another one, and Thome can't believe it. 3 strikeouts for Cone.
Sometimes you just shake your head and you walk back to the bench. That's close enough for Ted Hendry. You know, all these pitchers are borderline. And if you're a hitter, you got to know that you got to swing the bat. And maybe that one wasn't even borderline. That was inside. Let's listen to the call.
Two down. Runner at first base still. Breaking ball strike on the outside corner to Travis Fryman.
That emphatic call, strike 3. I heard it too many times myself.
That irritates hitters almost as much as just the fact they struck out.
Well, you know that, yeah, you know, nothing like an earache when you're walking back to the dugout.
Don't rub it in. And that's going to be a base hit into left field. Spencer over to get it. Ramirez makes a turn and will stop at second base. Throw comes into third. So Cleveland not out of this inning yet. They keep it alive with the 2-out single by Travis Fryman, who's 1 for 2. Now 2 on and 2 down. And Giles The left fielder who popped out his first at bat gets the RBI opportunity. And there's some of that talking, Kenny, you were talking about from the bench.
That might have been encouragement for Brian Giles to come through with 2 outs here and a runner in scoring position. Giles, I mentioned, missed a lot of the season from May 30th to July the 8th with a severely sprained ankle.
A .283 hitter with runners in scoring position. Giles has a runner in scoring position at second base. 1-0 count. Cleveland up 1-0. 2 hits now off Cone. Inside corner. Boy, that pitch is almost impossible to hit. You see Giles turning to look at Hendry, and the bench becomes a little more animated about this strike zone.
Lofton is into this at bat, isn't he?
Kenny Lofton is letting it go. Here's the 1-1. 2-ball, 1 strike count.
You can't blame David Cone for throwing the ball back in there. It's been getting called strike after strike. Why not keep the ball in there if the umpire's going to give it to you?
Ted Hendry, after that last pitch, Kenny took a look over into the dugout. Yeah, he took a step and a look into the Cleveland dugout. 2-1 delivery. Breaking ball missed. Did he go around? No. 3-1. There's Lofton on the right, and the home plate umpire Ted Hendry.
Good hitters count for Giles. Now he can really pick and choose what he wants. Ahead on the count, 3-1.
Got a pitch he wanted, fouled it off. Boy, it's tough out there in right field.
Wow.
First Paul O'Neill, now the ball boy.
You notice the trainer and Joe Torre don't rush out on this one, though.
Everything's money. Listen to the fans cheering him down there. Now the cheering will go for Cone. 3-ball, 2 strike count, 2 down. Runners will be going. 27th pitch of the inning is inside, and the bases are loaded. With Alomar coming up. Kenny Lofton cheerleading and David Cone struggling a bit here in the 4th inning.
Second walk of the inning for David Cone. Remember, he mentioned the fact that his control has been much better this year, and he very rarely pitched himself into jams as he has in this inning. Gave up the home run that maybe has gotten him to be overcautious in the strike zone, and has not thrown many strikes from that point on.
Sandy Alomar, bases loaded and 2 down, and the pitch is outside for a ball. So a big moment in this ball game. Jim Thome looking on. Alomar this year with the bases loaded, 4 for 16, including 1 grand slam home run. That one fouled off to even the count at 1 ball, 1 strike.
See how he dropped off in the second half. Only 1 home run, 14 RBIs in the second half as that knee injury became more and more pronounced. A knee that he's going to have surgery on in the offseason.
Alomar with a 1 ball, 1 strike count. Swings through that one, 1-2. He had a big home run last year. Game 4 against the Yankees. He's got the bases loaded here with Ramirez, Fryman, and Giles on. Yankee Stadium crowd up. 1-2 count, 2 away. It'll stay 1 ball, 2 strikes. Alomar 3 for 16 with a home run lifetime off David Cone.
Yeah, even if David Cone gets out of his jam, as pitching coach Mel Stoudemire looks around, he's had to work so hard to get out of it. This is his 32nd pitch coming up, that it might affect him later on in the ballgame.
Bases loaded, 1-2 delivery. Alomar to first base. Bobo Martinez with time. Cone will get there for the out. For David Cone, David Justice got the home run off him, but it could have been a lot worse as the Indians leave the bases loaded. But Cleveland jumps on top on the Justice swing. 1-0. Cone, though, touched up for 1 by Justice in this one.
And as they usually do in between innings, pitcher catcher talking over what happened, and certainly something to do with that pitch that was thrown to David Justice that left the ballpark.
Oh, Nagy now with a 1-0 lead. Paul O'Neill, Williams, and Martinez are due up. Remember, we talked about David Cone being on around a 100 pitch count for the game, somewhere around there, and the Yankees would want to get him out of there. He had to throw a ton of pitches in that last inning. That's what Ken was talking about, and he's up to 72 in the game. Charles Nagy, on the other hand, only 35 pitches thrown so far.
Less than half as many as David Cone, so his tank is more full as we get to the further reaches of this ball game.
Mark Wiley, pitching coach, keeps the charts. O'Neill flied out his first time up, and Nagy's pitch is low and away. 2 ball, 1 strike count. O'Neill now 2 for 6 in this series against Cleveland. The Indians have out-homered the opposition so far in the postseason, 9-6. That one drilled towards the corner. It is a fair ball. Ramirez, nice play. O'Neill trying to go for 2. Throw Ramirez off the mark, and O'Neill is in with a leadoff double.
It was last night that Paul O'Neill hit a breaking ball in the inner half for a 2-base hit. It's almost an instant replay of last night's double. In last night's situation, he also took a chance on the arm of Manny Ramirez, and he beat the play at second for the 2-base hit. Very close down in right field, only 314 feet. And this is where O'Neill decides he's going to try for 2. Slides in with the 2-base hit. He's in scoring position with nobody out. Ramirez's throw, a good one, but offline. If it's on the bag, it's a close play.
Ramirez couldn't get him. O'Neill's got his 4th postseason double. He led the Yankees with 40 in the regular season. Bernie Williams to first. Tomey bobbles. Nagy covers. O'Neill goes to third. That is a successful out by Bernie Williams.
Well, the whole idea, if Bernie Williams could not drive in the runner himself, is at least get Paul O'Neill over to third base with 1 out, and he accomplished that. And with a good RBI man coming to the plate, in fact, the Yankees' top RBI man, Tino Martinez. Here's a look at the ground ball to the right side. Tomey, remember, used to be a third baseman, and you're taught at the corners, knock the ball down and then make the play.
Tino Martinez had 123 RBIs during the regular season to lead the Yankees. The infield is drawn in. So with 1 down and Cleveland leading 1-0, they are going to try and protect the lead here in the 4th inning by trying to cut off that run. Gives Martinez a better chance of getting a base hit. And that one missed outside. 2-0 on Tino Martinez.
You can see the infield is drawn in. Any ground ball hit to them, they'll have a chance to hold the runner at third, or if Paul O'Neill goes, they have a chance to throw the ball to the plate, try and get it out. But bringing the infield in also cuts down on their range.
Kenny, it's interesting that Mike Hargrove would want to do that this early in the ball game. He obviously, one of the things he believes is his club's not going to score many runs.
Well, when you're in there against a pitcher like David Cone, maybe he feels that the home run that Justice got was an aberration. They might not get many more runs. So he wants to make sure that if he can, that his ball club can hold on to a 1-0 lead on a ground ball.
2 ball, 1 strike count. Martinez 6th in RBIs in the American League during the regular season as Paul O'Neill at third. Nagy trying to work his way around it. 2-1 pitch to him, and he got a big pop-up. Shallow left field. Giles, plenty of time to settle underneath. Runner tags, but is going nowhere. And there are 2 down. A huge out for Charles Nagy.
Ball not hit deeply enough to the outfield for Paul O'Neill to tag up and score. We used the term RBI quite a bit. And we got an email from Andy Stitchwitz, I believe, in Cologne, Germany. What is an RBI? That's a run batted in. That's the term for RBI. And what it is, it means that a hitter will actually drive a runner in from one of the bases. He's credited with an RBI. Tino Martinez did not get one right there. And that The big RBI hitters, they drive the big cars.
O'Neill is still at third base. There are 2 down. And the pitch is taken away by Tim Raines, the designated hitter. Called out on strikes his first time up. Raines with the RBI chance, but now, of course, the infield can back up. 1-0 Cleveland lead. Good pitch. He jammed him. That one right off the fist. Foul back. 1 ball, 1 strike.
A little bit of a question who Joe Torre would use as a designated hitter, either Chili Davis or Tim Raines. He's gone with Tim Raines the first 2 games of this American League Championship Series because he says he likes the way he's swinging the bat.
Raines a career .296 hitter on the season, so he keeps that DH job. Breaking ball fouled off. Nagy, a good comeback pitch right there. 1 ball, 2 strikes. David Cone hoping Yankees can get at least 1 here and get the ball game tied up.
2-out RBIs have a way of really pumping up a team. They know they are 1 out away from not being able to score. So when you get a hit and drive in a run with 2 outs, it really gets a team going in the other direction.
1-2 delivery. And he got him. Nagy pulled the string on him. The Yankees leave a runner at third, and they are now 0 for 5 in this game with runners in scoring position. Nagy now with 4 strikeouts, protecting the Cleveland lead. Charles Nagy, same kind of thing with Sandy Alomar. Alomar calls the game for him. Nagy will rarely brush him off. We asked Charles Nagy about the relationship with Alomar as catcher.
Sandy's caught me from day one. You know, my first big league win, my first big league game up until this point. He's a great catcher. He knows what he's doing back there. He works hard at his job. He's a good target. And he knows me better than I know myself. And he knows what I got going on that day. And he's not afraid to tell me, hey, you know, you got to throw this more, or this pitch isn't working today, so we got to go to something else.
He's made it work today.
Yeah, the fact is the catcher knows better than anybody what you're throwing. And when a manager comes out to the mound, they have that discussion about a pitcher and what he's doing in the course of a ball game. Sometimes he doesn't ask the pitcher, he asks the catcher. You know, what's he doing? Is he getting the ball over? He doesn't have to ask the pitcher how he feels. The manager wants an honest answer from either his catcher, and more times than not, he'll get more honest answer from the catcher than he will from the pitcher.
Joey Cora leading it off. 1 ball, 1 strike delivery. Fouls it back. The one thing catchers don't like is when that question gets asked when they're standing on the mound next to the pitcher.
Yeah, but it will come.
It will come.
It does happen.
They have to be honest. Tim McCarver, Major League catcher I worked with doing games, always told his managers, please wait till you're walking away before you ask me that question. Popped up to second base. Chuck Knobloch is there. Joey Cora is retired. 1 away here in the 5th inning. Full house here at Yankee Stadium again. A lot of strikeouts being called in this game.
Well, you see how far Girardi is sitting out there, but that's a called strike. My goodness.
Kenny, that's not even close.
Yeah, you need extendo bat to hit that one. You see, hitters are not trained to swing at pitches like that. That's why they don't even offer.
Well, here's Kenny Lofton. He better be swinging. After the talking he was doing on the bench, the strike zone may be bigger than ever for Kenny Lofton.
There's been a lot of guys thrown out of Major League ball games who were somewhere in the vicinity of the noise coming from the dugout. They weren't the ones that were actually doing the talking.
Lofton hits that one to center field. Bernie Williams will settle under. And David Cone has 2 down. So Lofton's gone 0 for 3, 0 for 7 in the 2 games. David Cone, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts. The home run off him by David Justice has been the lone run in this game. Indians have only 2 hits. The other a single by Fryman off David Cone. Yankees, no runs on 3 hits off Charles Nagy. Bunting for a base hit, or trying to do so. Vizquel, strike 1.
Solid split finger fastball. The bottom fell out of it, and Vizquel couldn't make contact. This is a devastating pitch. It looks like it's going to be a strike until you go for it. Then it drops right out of the zone abruptly.
Vizquel, a chopper, knocked down by David Cone. He Laredo's that one over to first. So David Cone comes back and retires the side in order on just 8 pitches. Yankees coming up with Cleveland up 1-0. Building for a long time, the tallest building in the world. Now not even the tallest building in New York City, as the Twin Towers, the World Trade Center, taller than the Empire State Building, and the Sears Building in Chicago, taller than many of them. Rudolph Giuliani, the mayor of the city of New York, and on a bashfully vocal New York Yankee fan.
There are 2 teams in this city.
There's one mayor.
Yeah.
And I don't see him much as Shea. Spencer fouls that pitch off. New York Mets, of course, play in the National League in Queens, New York, in another borough. And Shea Stadium is the home of the Mets. If you didn't get caught in a traffic jam, it's only about 20 minutes away. If you're in regular traffic, it's about an hour and a half. And a strike on the outside corner, 0-2.
Shane Spencer bitten by the outside corner, but you can see him shaking his head. I mean, this is going to be a tough day for the hitters.
That is unbelievable.
You can't hit this.
I mean, you couldn't hit that with a broom.
No, you are not taught to swing at those pitches.
0-2 delivery. Grounded down to third and a foul ball.
If I'm both pitchers, I'm just laying everything out there. Either I'm headed for the outside corner. If I miss, it's going to be outside.
It's been an ongoing dispute during this baseball season about the varying strike zones of different umpires. And there's been no question it exists, not just from league to league, but from umpire to umpire. The strike zone varies enormously.
I would invite the fans who are watching the game today.
0-2 to right field. Ramirez, and Spencer is retired.
I would invite them who are watching the game today. Remember what Ted Hendry was calling balls and strikes today. And in the next ball game on Friday in Cleveland, the first base umpire, John Shula, will be behind the plate. Here's a look at the swing of Shane Spencer. He knows it's outside. He's got to swing, so he goes out there to get it. He hit the ball hard, but he's out. So Hendry is behind the plate today. There's John Shula. John Shula is more hitter friendly. Pitchers have to hit the plate for him to call it a strike.
Grounded towards short. Long throw, Vizquel. He got it. Scott Brocious. First ball hitting. That's another thing we're going to see hitters do in this game, probably. More first ball hitting. If they get a pitch that looks like a strike first pitch, you gotta go get it.
Yeah, they don't want to get the 2 strikes, that's for sure. Fryman playing in on the grass, and it's up to Vizquel for anything to hit on the left side. He makes the play. Good throw across the diamond to Jim Thome.
2 of the great shortstops in baseball in this game. Vizquel, Gold Glover, probably is going to get his 6th this year. And Derek Jeter for the Yankees, probably future Gold Glover at short. 2 down, nobody on. First ball hitting. Girardi fouls it back. Strike 1.
Nagy's pitching an excellent game today, allowing just the 3 hits. 10 years ago, he was pitching for the U.S. Olympic team in Seoul, Korea. They won the gold medal that year.
2 wins, 3 losses in his career in the postseason. Girardi popped it up, second base. That'll be hauled in by Cora, and that will do it. So Nagy retires the side in order. 7 pitches thrown in that inning, and all of them were strikes, at least from where Ted Hendry was standing. Major League Baseball International's coverage of the American League Championship Series. Game 2, the Indians leading it. We'll have Game 3 Friday coming your way at 8 o'clock Eastern Time, U.S. time at midnight GMT, which is Greenwich Mean Time. Petite. It'll be Andy Pettit going and Bartolo Colon. And don't forget, the National League Championship Series is getting underway tonight at 8 o'clock Eastern Time in the United States. Many of you will be seeing that game. So both of these series are in action today.
Atlanta Braves and the San Diego Padres.
And the winners, of course, move on to the World Series, and we will be covering that for you as well. David Justice delivered the home run off David Cone in his first at-bat.
Now let's go back to the 4th inning. David Justice got a hold of a hanging curveball. O'Neill with a good effort. Somebody got a good shot of that with a camera, didn't they?
Down to third. This is going to be a tough play. Scott Brocious off the mark. And that will be an infield single. They were playing Justice to pull. Brocious was moved over towards short. So he had a long way to go to get to that ball.
Kind of squibbed off the end of the bat. Only one play he can make. Throw on the run, and he throws off target. You know, whether the throw is accurate, he might have gotten David Justice, but still it's going to be credited as a base hit because of the degree of difficulty of the play. That's why he does not get an error. Tough play for him to make. Justice gets the infield single. The big swing off the end of the bat, and now racing for a base hit, and he gets one.
In the United States, that's sometimes referred to as a New York Sunday Times base hit. Sounds like you wrapped up the Sunday Times paper and you hit the ball. That's about as hard as you'd be able to hit it. That's what Justice did, and that's what he got, a single. Now Ramirez and David Cone up high to him, ball 1. Each team with 3 hits. The Indians really struggling in postseason with their offense. Hitting 197 as a team coming into this game in the postseason. 197. New York Yankees, their pitchers holding the opposition to a 146 batting average. Towards the middle, Jeter, Knobloch, 2.
Deftly turned by the middle infielders by the Yankees, Jeter and Knobloch. Ground ball, it looked like it might get through for a base hit. Instead, a nice feed by Jeter right to Knobloch, who turns, fires on to first base for the double play. These guys practice this play every single day from various angles, get the ball to each other at second base, where the middle guy can turn it and throw to first and complete the double play. Jeter gave a nice feed to Chuck Knobloch.
Ramirez led the Indians in double play ground balls, 18 during the regular season. Hits into that one, 2 down. Jim Thome, strike 1. There's Ramirez. He's not a speedy base runner, so he doesn't beat out a lot of the relay throws to first base when they try and turn 2.
And not only that, he hits the ball fairly hard on the ground, and that makes it easier to turn a double play.
Jim Thome fouls that one back, and David Cone quickly ahead on the count, 2 strikes.
First 2 at-bats for Jim Thome have resulted in the same thing. Call, strike 3. Now to the 4th. Same pitch.
What do you think he'll see here?
Uh-oh. Tried to backdoor him.
Tried to get the pitch to go from the outside of the plate back in. Didn't make it. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Now let's see if they try and come in the front door again with a fastball on the inner half.
Got him. Jim Thome called out again. So Cone, after 32 pitches thrown through the 4th inning, has thrown a total of only 16 in the last 2, and he's got 4 Ks. Cleveland with the 1-0 lead. 1 run, 3 hits, no errors for the Indians. 0-3 and 0 for the Yankees. Cleveland trying to even this series at a game apiece. The next 3 games will be played in Cleveland in this best-of-7 American League Championship Series. 2 here at Yankee Stadium, 3 in Cleveland, 2 more here at Yankee Stadium if needed. Chuck Knobloch leads it off, and Nagy's pitch is in there for a strike. Knobloch's gone 0 for 2.
The fans are starting to get a little restless here at Yankee Stadium. They want to see some offensive action. So far today, Charles Nagy has allowed just the 3 hits. Only Paul O'Neill has gotten as far as third base.
And Knobloch will take the timeout. We thank all of you joining us with email today. New Zealand checking in. Tony and Annette, who are big Yankee fans. Glad to see the Yankees doing their business after last night's game. We'll be cheering for them here again. Great to have you with us. Another strike. And again, Knobloch looking back, thought it was high, 0-2.
Where's that guy from New Zealand last year who promised us a pint if we showed up in Christchurch?
You show up?
Been to church, but not Christchurch.
No,
yeah.
no. Nor did you get a pint at the church.
No, I did. No, I didn't.
Knobloch, center field. Ball carrying, Lofton there. We welcome all of you around the world joining us here for our coverage of the American League Championship Series, and we remind you in Japan, Major League Baseball will return to the land of the rising sun next month, slamming Sammy Sosa, strikeout king Curt Schilling, Red Sox phenom Nomar Garciaparra. They'll be leading the Major League All-Stars against the Japanese counterparts. The 98 Japan Tour will be played in Tokyo, Osaka, and Fukuoka. And it's November 6th through the 15th. Check your local broadcast listings for the time, date, and place in your area. Hideki Irabu with the New York Yankees. Tremendous coverage, of course, in Japan for his performances here this year. Grounded right back to the mound. Easy out. Jeter retired, 2 down.
I've been on that All-Star tour years ago. Really enjoyed it, although now I understand the 3 places that the All-Stars will be going to have dome stadiums now, as opposed to we were outside in the cold in November. So it's a lot more comfortable for the major leaguers going over there, and certainly a lot more comfortable for the fans who go in and watch those ball games.
Kenny, how about his position now with the Yankees pitching-wise?
Hideki will be used in long relief if one of the starters should falter, but that, hasn't been the case for a while with the Yankees.
2 down, bases empty, and Paul O'Neill up. Hideki Irabu's not pitched in 9 days. No, it has really been a while. And O'Neill takes it outside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Let's go back to the 3rd inning and Paul O'Neill on defense with a tremendous play, and stunned himself for a while as he made that play in the outfield on Joey Cora. Nice running, diving, twisting, lunging catch.
O'Neill waiting on a 1-1. And taken for a strike, and he looks back, and he looked back angrily.
O'Neill is not afraid to voice his displeasure with an umpire. And as is said most of the time with veterans, they can get away with just a little bit more. As O'Neill will take this pitch and maybe thinking it was more low than away from the corner. Wow.
Can you lip read? And that is a foul ball, just missed. Being an extra base hit, he has already picked up 1 double in this game.
By having that previous pitch called a strike, that's what made him swing at this last one. And he almost got a hit. You can see Travis Fryman well off the line, expecting O'Neill to hit the ball to his left. Instead, it goes to his right, and you can see it just missed. It's a foul ball.
Their leading doubles man, adding a double in the 4th to lead it off, but got stranded. High pitch by Nagy will even the count up. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Now, if the ball catches any part of the bag, the third base bag that O'Neill had hit, it had been a fair ball. Gone over the bag, it had been a fair ball over the bag. If it's to the left of the bag in the line, no way.
2-2 delivery. And Nagy goes full. Charles Nagy has not walked a batter in this game, striking out 4. He has not hurt himself in that way. Given up only 3 hits to the Yankees, who have stranded all 3 base runners, 2 of them in scoring position. He has given the Indians so far the big start Cleveland needed. O'Neill 3-2, 2 down, nobody on. Backhanded by Tomey. Overhand throw to Nagy covering, and that'll do it. So Charles Nagy retires the side in order. That's 9 in a row set down by the Cleveland right-hander as he's protecting a Cleveland 1-0 lead. in the playoffs, but they've come back to win 4 consecutive game 2s. They're doing it again.
Charles Nagy, I guess, is the man today. He's pitching very well. I go back to a late season game here at Yankee Stadium. Charles Nagy beat the Yankees here at Yankee Stadium, allowed just 1 run. He got a grand slam home run to give him the victory by the rookie Enrique Wilson, and that's why the Indians were able to win that ball game, as Charles Nagy pitched to beauty in the last week of the season against the New York Yankees right here at Yankee Stadium.
Now we'll see whether or not he can continue the job he's done here today. Travis Fryman, the Indians would dearly love, obviously, to add to their totals offensively. Down to third. Brocious knocks it down. He's got time. That ball hit high. Makes the play. Fryman's retired. 1 for 3 for Fryman in the game.
I mentioned the fact that at the corners of the infield, third base and first base, you have a little bit more time if you knock the ball down, because the ball gets to you more quickly than it does at second and shortstop. So Brocious recovers on the hard shot, the accurate throw, and there's out number 1.
Each team with only 3 hits in the ball game. A real pitcher's duel with the starters, Cone and Nagy, in there. Swung on, foul tipped by Giles. Brian Giles drew a walk his last time up, 1 of 3 given up by David Cone. Popped out in his first at bat. Delivery, and Giles turns on that one down the right field line. That's heading towards that foul pole and into the seats. It'll be a foul ball. Kenny, we had an email about this great season in baseball, which talked about a lot of home runs, and a chance maybe to review that.
Well, the question was that lady mentioned that she's a nurse in a hospital for children in Germany. And one of the patients there is a Mark McGwire fan. Wanted to know that who are the leading home run hitters in baseball this year.
Name of the nurse is Lily. The name of the call is strike 3. Again, 7 of 9 strikeouts in this game now called strike 3s. He's got 5 of them.
We look at the home run leaders in the National League. Of course, Mark McGwire setting a new single season record with 70 home runs. Sammy Sosa of the Chicago Cubs also broke the record that was set back in 1961 by Roger Maris of the Yankees of 61 home runs, but finished second to McGwire. Alomar takes a strike. We get back to that graphic and see who the others were. That
0-1 delivery to Alomar. Outside, 1-1.
So it's McGwire and Sosa in the National League, followed by Greg Vaughn, who hit his 50th home run on his last at bat of the season. American League, Griffey, Bell, and Canseco.
Amazing home run year. Towards short. Can he do it again? No. Jeter knocked it down. It slid on the grass, so that's going to be a base hit for Alomar, an infield single, hit number 4 for the Indians.
One thing I like about Jeter, and I guess about all middle infielders, when they make a play and stop a ball and don't follow through and throw it to first base, you see a look of disappointment on their faces. Like, man, I should have made that play. And you see the look on Jeter's face. He feels he can throw anybody out if he comes up with the ball cleanly. And he has one of the stronger arms for a shortstop. He couldn't transfer the ball from his glove to his hand and dropped it, and it goes as a hit for Alomar.
2 of the 4 hits Cleveland has in this game are infield singles. Joey Cora nubs that one off the end of the bat. Strike 1. 2 down. Runner at first base. Indians are leading at 1-0. David Cone pitching well, but getting close to that mark where the Yankees will be concerned about the number of pitches he has thrown in this game, and he gets up to 100. 97 so far. Breaking ball, sliders inside. 1 ball, 1 strike on Joey Cora. He didn't go around. Mel Stottlemyre, pitching coach, keeping that counter going. And the 1-1 is popped up. Jeter at short. Puts it away. No runs, a base hit, one left on. Pitching duel continues at Yankee Stadium as they discuss the status of David Cone. Yankee Stadium, over 57,000 on hand last night. Probably that many here today. Rooting for their Yankees to do something against Charles Nagy, who has shut him down on 3 hits. 3 left on, 2 in scoring position. Yankees got O'Neill to third base in the 4th inning with 1 down, but Martinez and Raines could not get him home.
Well, Charles Nagy has been very effective. Last night, the Yankees had 17 base runners. Tonight, they've had only 3.
Bernie Williams fouls off the Nagy delivery, strike 1. Williams has struck out and grounded out. 10 hits and 32 at-bats lifetime against Charles Nagy. A lot of these New York Yankees had big offensive numbers against Nagy in their career. They've not been able to get it going today. Knoblauch over 300, O'Neill over 300, Williams 300, Martinez. All had hit Nagy hard. Today he shut him down so far. 1 ball, 1 strike count on Williams. Hard to believe this will be a 1-0 game. But that's why you play them. Some things that are hard to believe come to reality. Breaking ball. Williams has got one in the gap. Kenny Lofton will try and hold him to a single. And he does. Great throw back in from Lofton.
Only the 2nd time today the Yankees have had the leadoff man on base. And usually that signals a run-scoring opportunity of the maximum. As Bernie Williams with the base hit, racing down the line. You mentioned Kenny Lofton getting the ball back in quickly and accurately. Bernie spun out going around first base, but Kenny Lofton led the American League in assists with 19. An assist is when an outfielder will make a throw that will lead to an out.
Leadoff man on. Tino Martinez, ball 1. Martinez has flied out, grounded out. Looking for his first hit in the series, 0 for 7. Nagy has given up 4 hits and falls behind 2-0.
He's only thrown 71, 72 pitches, so he should not be tired. Although at this point of the season, been a lot of pitches thrown by pitchers, and they might get tired a little quickly. Steve Reed and Jim Poole.
Delivery. Ball 3 outside. Nagy worked 8 innings in his last start against Boston in the division series. A very strong 8 innings. He pitched 2 complete games. Mark Wiley, the pitching coach. And he walked him on 4 straight. First walk given up by Nagy.
That's usually a red flag for a manager and a pitching coach. And it will be in this instance, too, as Mike Hargrove is going to come out to the mound. Remember when we were talking about getting that honest answer from both your pitcher and your catcher as to how you were feeling at this moment? Nagy's pitched a heck of a ball game to this point. And he's probably asking me, how do you feel? I got 2 pitchers ready to come in if you don't feel like you can go any further here. He's probably also telling his infielders what to watch out for from the Yankees offensively. They might be looking for the bunt. You guys, be alive. Everybody be where you should be in a bunt situation.
Don Zimmer, bench coach with Joe Torre on the right. Talking about strategy here.
Zimmer with 50 years of experience. Now, there's nobody that knows everything about baseball, but if anybody does come close to it, it might be Don Zimmer, who's talking with Joe Torre.
A bench coach is sort of like the right arm for a manager. He's your best friend. He's the one you confide in, you ask questions of. He gives you information, thoughts during the course of a game. He's there to lean on.
Managers don't always follow the advice. Sometimes they do. Most of the time they do. Sometimes they don't. Look for Raines to be sacrificing here.
Throw to second. Williams back in plenty of time with Cora covering.
The Indians put on somewhat of a trick play with Vizquel breaking to his right, where Bernie Williams could see him go out of the picture, and then Joey Cora trying to sneak in behind him. The whole idea is to hold Bernie Williams closely. Travis Fryman, the third baseman, giving the signs to let everybody know what play is on.
Raines does not have a sacrifice bunt this year.
This could be a key place in the ballgame to advance 2 runners into scoring position.
He has struck out twice. He squares, pitches outside, ball 1.
Cleveland had the regular bunt defense set up on that play. The shortstop covered second. The second baseman comes to cover first. The first baseman charges. If you're a hitter and you're laying down a bunt in this situation, you try and make the third baseman field the ball. He'll come in to field the ball, leaving third base uncovered so the runners can move up.
Cleveland Indians want to play at third. They've got to force out. Nagy will try and field a bunt and make a play to third if he can to get the lead runner.
Lead runner has speed, Bernie Williams.
They put the wheel on. He squares and bunts it foul. 1-1. So the Indians had the corners charging and the shortstop going over to cover third.
Now watch how the defense changes here. You'll see Vizquel right near Bernie Williams at second base, take off for third. Fryman charges. So he wants to field the bunt and then throw the third base to Vizquel covering. A hitter can counteract that. The whole left side of the infield is left open. If a hitter realizes that's the play, he can hit the weakest of ground balls to the left side of the infield and get a run in and move another runner around to third base.
Willie Randolph the signs. Torrey has already passed on what they want to do here. Nobody out, 2 on. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Squares, takes a strike, 1 and 2. And he didn't like it. Look at Hendry staring back at him. And Torrey, that's a ball. Hollering out to the home plate umpire.
Here's Raines squaring the bunt. And their feeling is that pitch was low.
That was closer than a lot of other ones.
Yeah, it was closer than a lot of other ones. But either Joe said that's a ball or that's terrible.
1-2 count. Now Raines unlikely to bunt. Since he doesn't bunt well anyway, if he bunts it foul, he's going to be out. And a timeout taken by the catcher. Alomar wanted to see the signs again.
The signals being given by one of the coaches to the third baseman as to what defense they want to apply on this particular play. Now Raines, as you mentioned, Gary, he'll probably be swinging with 2 strikes. If he bunts it foul, he's out.
Alomar quickly called the timeout, going through the signs again. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Raines not bunting, strikes out. Foul tip held on to. Big play by Alomar. Tim Raines foul tipped that ball, and Alomar was able to hang on to it. And on a 3rd strike that's foul tipped and caught by the catcher, you are out.
Well, here's the whole sequence of pitches to Raines. Ball 1 outside. Fouls off the bunt attempt. 1-1. Curveball called the strike, might have been low. Swings and misses on a split finger, and it struck out. He says the ball hit the ground. Let's see if it does. Foul tipped, not into the glove of Sandy Alomar. That's a strikeout. Foul tipped and held. So no advance of the runners by Tim Raines, and there's 1 out.
Now you don't bunt, because with 1 away, if you bunt, you end up with 2 down and 2 on. Now you're looking for an RBI base hit from Shane Spencer if you're the Yankees. 1 down. The Yankees now are 0 for 6 when they've had runners in scoring position in this game. They've had good hitters up in clutch situations, and Nagy has been able to get the outs. Just a 1-0 Cleveland lead. They're trying to hang on to it here in the 7th inning. 26-year-old rookie Shane Spencer. Nagy is tough. 1-1.
Good split finger fastball for a strike. Ball dipped just as Shane Spencer went to swing at it. Here's another look. Watch the dip on this ball. Hitter swings, thinks the ball is there, then it disappears.
Hargrove walking back and forth now in a pressure-packed portion of this game. 2 on, 1 away. 1-1 delivery. Jammed him. Hit it off his foot. Foul ball. And a 1-2 count on Spencer.
I mentioned that Charles Nagy won a ball game here at Yankee Stadium in the last week of the season as we looked at this foul ball off the bat of Shane. Looked like it hit him in the knee. Yep, just above the knee. And Nagy, a winner here at Yankee Stadium in a hostile environment. I guess from a standpoint of a road player or pitcher, this could be as hostile as any place in baseball. But Nagy has won 9 of his 15 games on the road this year.
Not a good home field pitcher.
No, he pitches better on the road.
He's pitching a heck of a game at Yankee Stadium. 1-2 count. Spencer loops it. That could be trouble. It's a foul ball. Runners were going. The big jump. No one was going to catch it. The only question whether it would be fair.
Nagy again broke out the split finger fastball. Remember we mentioned early in the game that Mike Hargrove wanted him to use it more with 2 strikes to put hitters away. Spencer just trying to stay alive, fights it off, and the ball is fouled off, and he gets to hit once again.
Nagy 9-5 on the road with a 4.61 ERA. His ERA at home over 6. 1-2 delivery. Fastball inside. 2-2.
One pitch sets up another. I would think that they're going to go back away again. Try to keep the ball away for Shane Spencer.
There are prayers being said at Yankee Stadium. Charles Nagy, the man Cleveland relies on to shut it down. David Cohn hoping for offensive help. Nagy signed through a contract through 2002 for these kind of games. Breaking ball missed outside. 3-2.
Shane Spencer had 119 minor league home runs. 80 of them in the last 3 years. So it shows you how much he's improved the last 3 years as a hitter. And part of being a good hitter is being able to recognize balls and strikes. So 119, that's a lot of home runs for somebody who's in the major leagues to hit in the minors.
3-2, 1 away. Runners not going. Swung on, hit in the air. Center field, runners will tag. Lofton, warning track, makes the catch. Williams goes over to third base and will stop there. 2 down. He gave it a ride.
Gave it a ride, but he picked on the longest part of Yankee Stadium. 408 feet straight away here at Yankee Stadium. This is towards left center a bit. Pitch was up. Got pretty good wood on it. He thought he might have gotten it over the head of Lofton, but Lofton to the warning track puts it away for the out. Bernie Williams realizes that the catch is going to be made. Tags up. Once the catch is made, he's able to move over to third base.
Scott Brocious will follow Spencer. That close, but not quite. 2 away. Brocious down the line, left field, fair ball. Williams scores. Game is tied on the double by Scott Brocious.
You know, one thing I see from Nagy this inning is pitchers are starting to come up in the strike zone, which means he's getting tired. The ball that Shane Spencer drove a long way to center field was a pitch that was up. Scott Brocious has been deaf on pitches that are about belt high all season long. He drives one into the corner. Last night, the base hit he got in the first inning was a pitch that was up. So David Cohn now sees the ball game tied on a clutch 2-out hit by Scott Brocious. Drives it to the corner. The only reason why the Yankees don't lead is Brian Giles makes a good play in the corner to corral this ball and get it back in before Tino Martinez can score from first.
Scott Brocious was the Yankees' best hitter with runners in scoring position at .372. A big number on a big offensive team, and he has knocked the starter, Charles Nagy, out of this game, as well as tying it up. And we've got a tie game. This copyrighted telecast, the property of the Office of the Commissioner of Major League Baseball, intended for the private non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of Major League Baseball is prohibited.
And this is what makes baseball an exciting game. Just when you think you're sailing along, things are going right, quickly they can turn. When a leadoff batter gets on base, usually it's about maybe 65% of the time he scores. Bernie Williams got the base hit. You saw him in your picture in the dugout resting. He's the one that scored the tying run after the leadoff single.
32-year-old Steve Reed. Foul back by Joe Girardi. Girardi's gone 0 for 2 in the ball game. Reed worked last night to a couple of batters. These Yankees are seeing Reed for the first time. Paul O'Neill's the only Yankee who had ever hit against Reed. What a clutch situation for these two players right now. Girardi with a chance to put the Yankees on top. Reed with a strike on the outside corner, 0-2. And Girardi arguing with Hendry again.
Joe Girardi spent some time with the Colorado Rockies, and so did Steve Reed. They were teammates for a while in the mid-90s out in the mile-high city of Denver.
0-2 delivery. Jammed him. Reed looking for the third out. Gets it. So he comes on and gets Girardi, but the Yankees come up with a run on a couple of hits, leaving 2 on base. Scott Brocious delivering with the RBI double to tie the game at 1-1. Stadium, barn burner, 1-1 as we go to the 8th inning. And a reminder, game 3 of this American League Championship Series will be played at the Jacobs Field in Cleveland. We'll have it for you 8 o'clock Eastern time in the United States, midnight Greenwich Mean Time. With Andy Pettitte on the mound for the Yankees, Bartolo Colon will make the start for the Cleveland Indians. Don't forget, the National League Series begins tonight, 8 o'clock. San Diego playing in Atlanta. Game 1 tonight. Many of you will see that. And tomorrow night, 8 o'clock Eastern time, game 2 of the National League Series. There's the starter for the Yankees in Cleveland for game 3.
16-game winner Andy Pettitte, who pitched an excellent game against the Texas Rangers in the division series.
David Cone, if needed, will have help ready in the bullpen. The Yankees have Nelson and Stanton. Jeff Nelson, who worked in last night's game, up again. Kenny Lofton leading it off. A 1-ball, 1-strike count on the Indians' leadoff batter. He has gone 0 for 3 in this game. 0 for 7 in the series. So the Indians have not been able to get their speedster on base. David Cone's numbers for 7 innings. Very good. And missed. Falls behind Lofton, 3-1.
Utmost importance for David Cone to shut down the Indians this inning. The momentum has shifted to the Yankees because they scored the last run in this game.
3-2. Joe Torre has to make the decision. He's already seen David Cone go by that 100 pitch mark, which is a key. Hargrove just hopes the Indians can do something with him. Grounded to second base. Chuck Knobloch. Lofton's out of there.
In tight ball games, a key hitter to get out is that first man. And David Cone, a nice job of fighting back after falling behind a speedy hitter like Kenny Lofton.
Well, we've had some people inquire about Graham Lloyd, Kenny, and there he is. He has just gotten up in the bullpen to throw, the left-hander closest to you.
And this game is going live to Australia on Fox Australia. Hoping they're enjoying it. And their native son is up in the bullpen.
1 strike count on Vizquel. Omar Vizquel 0 for 3 in the ball game, 8 for 36 in his career against David Cone. In at third, Brocious down the left field line. Spencer over, diving, can't get it, fair ball. Rolls around to the corner. Heading for third is Vizquel. Vizquel will go in standing with a triple. Spencer took the chance of trying to catch that ball, and once he didn't, it rolled by him into the corner.
Well, you saw the play, and Spencer gave it all he was worth. But once the ball got by him, it was going to be a 3-base hit. You mentioned the chance that he took. You know, he can lay back and try and catch this on a hop if he can, but he decides to try and makes the catch. And when he doesn't get to it, the ball falls beyond him. Vizquel is in third base with the 3-base hit. Now, usually this time of game, Joe Torre's put Chad Curtis in defensively. But he feels as though he's going to leave the offensive player in the game and Shane Spencer. And the ball gets by him for the 3-base hit.
6 triples during the regular season for Vizquel. Cone watching that ball rattle into the left field corner, and now a strategy meeting. Vizquel represents the go-ahead run, 5th hit for the Indians. He's on at third base with 1 away, and you've got the middle of the order. David Justice, then Ramirez, and then Tommy Duop. And Mel Stottlemyre, the pitching coach, has gone out to conference how they want to play this inning.
Well, first of all, I think we'll see the Yankees set up with the infield in, and that's what we're going to see defensively. One thing you can tell David Cone, and if you fall behind Dave Justice, you might want to think about putting him on. The runner they're concerned with is the man at third base, Omar Vizquel. He's the lead run in the game.
Justice has been on all 3 times in the game. Inside doing ball 1, almost caught it. He had a single, a home run in the 4th inning, and drew a walk in his first at bat. 1-0 count on Justice, 2 home runs in this postseason. 7 RBIs in the playoffs this year for David Justice. What a huge jump. Omar Vizquel at third base came halfway down the line that time, trying to rattle David Cone. May have. It's a 2-0 count on Justice.
Yeah, David Cone working from the windup, and once you start that windup, you cannot stop it. You have to continue with your pitch to the plate.
He's working around Justice.
If David Justice likes his 3-0 pitch, I can guarantee you he'll swing at it, trying to get that runner in. But I don't think David Cone's going to give in.
3-0 delivery, breaking ball, 3-1.
And what I mean by give in is just throw a fastball down the middle of the plate to pick up a strike, and he did. He threw a breaking ball to the corner.
A 1-1 game in the 8th inning. Indians have the go-ahead run at third base. Infield drawn in by the Yankees. They'll try and cut that run off if Vizquel runs on contact. And a chopper. Vizquel's not coming. Play it first, and they got him. Girardi out to make the play, and Vizquel had to stay at third base.
If there was a key out for David Cone in this ballgame, and the Yankees go on to win it, this will be it. Getting David Justice to swing at a split-fingered fastball out over the plate and nub it in front of the plate where Girardi can throw him out. This is not a ball you can drive. He's looking for something he can hit to the outfield, at least far enough to get a fly ball where Vizquel can score. Now you see Vizquel leading at third. He reacts to the ball being hit, and he can't go anywhere. And there's the out at first base. Now 2 outs. The Yankees are able to drop the infield back.
David Cone trying to work his way out of the inning will face Manny Ramirez. A runner at third base, 2 down. Game tied at 1-1. Ramirez, 309 with runners in scoring position, takes it up high for a ball. A dangerous hitter and a big RBI man for the Cleveland Indians. He is 0 for 2 and a walk in this game. Ramirez off the end of the bat, and that is a foul ball. Just missed hitting the bag.
Home runs all-time postseason. Mickey Mantle, the Yankee great Hall of Famer, in 65 games in 18. Reggie Jackson in 77 games. Babe Ruth in 41 ball games, 15. Manny Ramirez. Manny Ramirez, the only non-Yankee in that group, although Reggie hit some of his with the Oakland A's.
Ramirez trying to give the Indians the lead while David Cone trying to keep it tied.
And the reason that is because the Yankees played more postseason games than any other team. 34 times they've been in the World Series.
Fourth leading RBI man at the plate in the league. Takes the pitch outside. 2 balls and 1 strike.
And you saw the reaction of Joe Girardi after that pitch. The whole game this pitch has been called a strike. It comes to a key situation and he doesn't get the call. You see, we've seen that all day being called a strike, and you're looking for consistency from the umpires more than anything else. That is a lack of consistency from Ted Henry behind the plate. Now he's making him throw strikes to get out.
Look at the big jump that time. Towering fly ball towards the seats. That'll go foul. You saw it again at third base. Vizquel coming halfway down the line, trying to distract David Cone. 2-2.
And Girardi's going to go out to talk to David Cone here. And I think it's more than anything else just to settle him down. Watch Vizquel racing about halfway down, and there's the foul ball down the line.
Some pitchers will work from the stretch with a runner at third base. Others, starters in particular, prefer to stay with a full windup. They are more effective in the full windup because that's how they generally pitch.
And get a little bit more power. And you're going to need power pitching to hitters like Justice and Ramirez.
Yankee fans on their feet. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 down. Runner at third. Cone looking over. Vizquel the lead. Breaking ball right back to David Cone, and the Indians are retired. After a 1-out triple by Vizquel, Cone got 2 ground balls back to himself to retire Cleveland. Showing you why he was a 20-game winner, as he really bore down in that last inning.
Yeah, and his creativity too. His last pitch, as we look at the sequence, the last pitch to Manny Ramirez, little hesitation before he delivered the ball and got the ground ball out, just to throw off the timing of Ramirez at the plate. So David Cone with the creativity, and he's pumped as he comes off the mound.
Girardi is catcher there with him. Fine performance.
Yeah, we saw Nagy get out of a runner at third and 1-out jam early in the ballgame in the 4th inning, and David Cone has duplicated that in the top of the 8th.
2 starters have been effective. Bullpen now. Reed continues on after getting the final out in the 7th inning. Chuck Knobloch, the leadoff batter, the 0 for 3, 1 for 8 in the series. Shane Spencer, who took that dive in left field going after that ball, ripping the pant leg and skinning the knee. Strike on the inside corner by Reed, 1-1.
Reed with what is best described as a funky delivery.
Reed came over late in the season with in a trade from the San Francisco Giants. He appeared in 50 games for the Giants and 20 with the Indians. Tomey, he'll take that one to the bag himself. That'll retire Knobloch. 1 away.
Ball was stung by Knobloch. Tomey stayed with it, knocked it down, then made the play.
Game tied at 1-1. Each team with 5 hits. Yankees won 7-2 last night.
Yeah, here's his delivery that I was talking about, particularly from the right side. Kind of comes by way of third base. Watch the delivery as he drops down and drives and gets the ball up. Knobloch hits it hard. A one hopper that Jim Tomey stays with. Ooh.
Tough for right-handers to hang in when you got a guy coming from ground zero. Jeter fouls it back. Strike 1. That's why it's surprising to me that right-handers hit 273 off Reed and left-handers hit 244. Seems like it ought to be
the other way around. Yeah.
0-1 delivery. Jeter rips that one back into the seats. And a 2-strike count on Derek Jeter.
You know, for a right-handed hitter, it almost takes a couple of pitches for them to adjust to the delivery alone, let alone the pitches that are coming to the plate. The lefty might be able to see it better, but Reed relies on the movement. The ball will sink away from a left-handed hitter.
Game tied at 1. Next game Friday in Cleveland. Indians are trying to even it up at 1 apiece in the series. That one missed outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Jeter will be followed by O'Neill. Jeter doubled in his first at bat and then grounded out and popped out. Mike Wiley, the pitching coach, watching Reed. They'll have their bullpen ready at this point of the game. Fouled off again. Those are rip shots back into the seats.
Steve Reed was part of that bullpen crew in Colorado that Don Baylor would run out there about 70 times a year. Reed, Curtis Laskanik, and Darren Holmes all would have 70 or more appearances, and you might as well throw Mike Munoz in there too. Don Baylor would not hesitate to go to that bullpen and get a new pitcher.
Means your starters weren't very good.
Yeah, exactly. Well, pitching in Coors Field at that high altitude, yeah.
And that's why Don Baylor's not managing them anymore. Here's the 1-2 delivery outside, and a 2-ball, 2-strike count. The bullpen this year for the Indians was 7th in the league with a 4.43 earned run average. They had a rocky road at times with the bullpen. That's why Mike Hargrove wanted his starters to get deep into the ball game, and Nagy did that for him here. 6 2/3 innings for the starter Charles Nagy with a run on 5 hits, walking 1, striking out 5. Now it's up to the Indians' pen. The 2-2 delivery up high, 3-2 on Jeter.
The strike zone seems to be getting tighter as we get towards the end of the ball game. That's a little high as Jeter takes it and the count is run full. It was also outside, but that didn't matter earlier in the game.
Three-two delivery. Jeter held up, walked him. Only 1 walk by Nagy in 6 2/3. Now Reed gives up a walk, and the Yankees have the potential go-ahead run on at first with 1 out. Left-handed hitting Paul O'Neill due up, and Jim Poole, the left-hander for the Cleveland Indians, is going to be coming on in place of Reed. We will be back as Steve Reed leaves for the confrontation between the 2 left-handers in a 1-1 game. Paul on this ball game. 1-1 in the bottom half of the 8th inning, and left-hander Jim Poole on for a specific task.
Well, he's facing Paul O'Neill, a tough left-handed hitter, but there's another reason why he's in the ball game, and it also helps the Cleveland Indians. With a left-hander on the mound, he's able to hold the runner at first base a little more closely. Derek Jeter, one of the faster of the Yankees, finished 2nd on the ball club in stolen bases with 30. But Jim Poole, a lefty, can look right at him as he comes set, and lefties have a tendency to hold the runners a little bit more closely. And in a tight ball game, you don't want Derek Jeter to steal second.
Paul O'Neill will be the man coming up to face him. Jim Poole thought his career was over. He was released by the Giants on July 11th, picked up by the Indians and sent to the minor leagues, and then called up to pitch for them in just these kind of situations. He is tough on left-handers. Left-handers hit just 4 for 18 with no home runs off it. Right-handers were 5 for 12. So he's brought in to go against Paul O'Neill, who's 2 for 11 career-wise against Poole. And O'Neill takes it up high, ball 1.
One thing I see right away from Jim Poole, he has a very high leg kick. And if Jeter guesses right, by the time Poole delivers the ball to home plate, Jeter will have a good start to going to second base and having a steal. But we haven't seen Poole's move to first base yet, and I think that's the key. Jeter wants to see him throw over there at least 1 time before he thinks about stealing.
1-0 count, 1 down. O'Neill Takes the pitch down low, 2-0.
Once again, the high leg kick. That is the key, because it takes time to get that leg back up and down and then deliver the ball. And if the runner guesses right, he has a good chance to steal a bag.
Poole came on in the ball game yesterday, struck out Tino Martinez and walked Tim Raines, and then came out of the game. He has a 2-0 count here on O'Neill. Jeter off first. O'Neill down the left field line, not particularly deep. Giles, and will not have a play.
Well, almost got a drink, though.
You'd rather not right now, thank you.
That ball kind of drifted as if the wind carried it towards the seats. When it was first hit, I thought the ball was going to be in fair territory and able to be caught.
Had that wind blowing from right to left all day today, not particularly hard. The flags at the top of the stadium have been blowing that way. And it looks like a couple of balls have been affected by that wind. 2 ball, 1 strike count on O'Neill. O'Neill, a .286 hitter off left-handers this year. Very good numbers for a left-handed batter. There's the first throw to first on Jeter, and he just lobbed that one over.
One thing I saw, that Poole actually kicks his leg up a little higher when he comes to the plate. So he doesn't kick his leg up as high when he throws the first. And I'm sure Derek Jeter saw it. He stole more bases this year than I did my whole career.
Well, that's something.
Yeah, well, I could hit that.
All right. Here's the 2-1 delivery. O'Neill again. The left field side. This one is in the seats as well. That ball continues to be blown over. Although that one, I thought that was going to stay in play too. You don't have a lot of room right there at that corner.
Better angle for the shortstop to make the play. As we look at the flag, sometimes it can be deceiving here at Yankee Stadium. The flag's blowing one way, the wind might be reacting another. Fryman called off by Pascal, but this one lands about one, or O'Neill thought he was out. See that bat? He didn't think he was going to get a chance to use it again. The wind catches it, and it goes about 2 rows deep into the seats.
He owes that bat an apology. 1-1 ball game in the 8th inning. Jim Poole working against Paul O'Neill. Jeter off first. 2-2. We'll have to wait.
So Jeter now has seen 2 throws over the first, and both of them were very similar. It tells me that Poole does not have one of those Andy Pettitte trick moves over the first that is so successful in picking runners off.
Runner not going 2-2. That one lashed to left field. Near the warning track back, and Giles makes the catch. He had that lined up all the way. That's why he's out there. He is a better defensive left fielder than David Justice. That's why Justice is DHing and Giles is out in left.
Well, to play left field here at Yankee Stadium with all the room that you have to have a left fielder that has the skills of a center fielder, able to cover a lot of ground. And Giles back to the warning track. When that ball was first hit, I thought it had a chance to get over his head, but he ran it down, and that's a deep part of Yankee Stadium. Well, close to 400 feet in that direction. And a reaction of Paul O'Neill.
You want to make a living in the majors, do what Jim Poole does. Throw left-handed and be able to throw strikes. That's all you got to do. And then you come in and get one guy out. And he did. And O'Neill was retired, and Jim Poole comes out of the game, and Paul Shuey will come on to replace Poole. Remains tied at 1-1. Just joining us, let's bring you up to date on how we got to this 1-1 affair.
Well, the Indians actually scored first, and with 1 out, David Justice at the plate in the 4th inning. Hanging curveball, he jumps on it. Paul O'Neill thinks he has a chance, but he will not. This will give the Indians a 1-0 lead. The Yankees countered in the bottom of the 7th inning. A clutch 2-out double by Scott Brocious that scored Bernie Williams. And that tied the ball game at 1, and that's where we stand. 1-1 in the bottom of the 8th inning as Jim Poole faces one man but gets the job done.
David Cone has gone the distance for the Yankees, walking 3, striking out 5. Nagy, the starter, great job for Cleveland. Reed, and now Poole and Shuey, the fourth Cleveland pitcher. Well, we have a moment. We were talking about the great history of the New York Yankees and all of the postseason appearances, successful ones in most cases. 34 American League pennants that they have won in their storied history, along with a clutch of world championships.
Yeah, 23 times the Yankees have won the World Series. And there are the World Championships, 34 American League pennants, 143 wins, 95 losses record all time in postseason. The 23 World Championships represents the most that any team has won the World Series. And of course, the 34 appearances, the same.
Ush Buchner from Germany emailed us the question, wanting to know how many they had won. There's your answer, and thanks for joining us. And the 1962 champions pictured there. I saw Whitey Ford in the front row.
Yeah, they beat the San Francisco Giants that year, 1962. And of course, the latest championship for the Yankees, 1996, where they beat the Atlanta Braves.
And everybody expects the Yankees and Braves to be the two teams back. There's Mickey Mantle, center of that picture. Whitey Ford, one of those memorial plaques here in the Memorial Park section of the outfield of the 75-year-old Yankee Stadium.
We saw Paul Shuey last night. He possesses a very strong arm. Fastball in the 90s, also a good curveball. You can see the 58 strikeouts in 51 innings pitched. Anytime a pitcher has more strikeouts than innings pitched, it tells you he gets the ball up there in a hurry.
Bernie Williams drew a walk off Paul Shuey last night. Breaking ball in for a strike. Nasty breaking ball. 2 down. Runner at first. Game tied at 1 in the 8th. 28-year-old right-hander Paul Shuey. Jeter's on at first base. He drew the 1-out walk, and he's still there.
Now with a right-hander in the game, Jeter is more apt to think about stealing, especially with 2 outs, to try and get himself into scoring position. You might want to watch how quickly Shuey gets the ball to home plate. He's another fairly tall pitcher, so it might take him a while to deliver.
He's got a little hesitation.
Not quite as slowly as Poole is to the plate. There's Willie Randolph, part of Yankee championship teams in the 70s as a second baseman. And he's the one that gives the signs to Jeter, although most of the Yankees are on their own. When they feel they can make it, they'll go.
1-1. There goes Jeter. Alomar, no pitch to handle, stolen base. Alomar to pitch down in the dirt that he had a backhand to stop. No chance to make a throw.
Jeter will be credited with a stolen base. He was off and running. Joe Torre let the Yankees steal on their own for most of the year. He said, I'm going to let them go until they start to abuse it and we start getting people thrown out. That really didn't happen. The Yankees finished second in the league behind the Toronto Blue Jays in stolen bases. As you said, Gary, not even a chance for Sandy Alomar to throw him down. So now Derek Jeter is in scoring position at second base.
2 stolen bases in the postseason for Jeter. 2-1 count. Bernie Williams and a timeout taken at the plate. Just a great baseball game filled with emotional moments and very tense moments here at Yankee Stadium. 1-1 in the 8th. Taken for ball 3. 3-1.
And while we mentioned all the world championships for the Yankees, the Cleveland Indians have not won the world title in 50 years. They've been to the World Series 2 of the last 3 years, but they haven't won.
1948. Last time for the Indians, despite a very strong presence in the 90s. 3 ball, 1 strike count. Shuey checking Jeter. Williams, strike on the inside corner, 3-2.
Look at the last pitch. It's set up on the inside corner. High enough and to the corner for the strike. You know, you might wonder why hitters always get upset or pitchers get upset when they don't get a call, because the count usually dictates your success at the plate or on the mound.
Fouled outside of first by Williams. Count remains 3-2 with 2 down.
Every hitter in the major leagues does not hit as well when he's behind on the count. Say when the count is 1 ball with 2 strikes, the pitcher is more apt to get the hitter out.
You only get about 2 or 3 hitters in each league every year who bat better than 300 when the 2-strike count is there.
Yeah, it's very, very tough.
3-2. Look to second base by Shuey.
The advantage is always in the pitcher's hands, even on a 3-2 count, because he knows what he wants to throw and where he wants to throw it. The hitter does not know that. But with a 3-2 count, the odds are a little bit more in the hitter's favor.
League's leading hitter, Bernie Williams at the plate. Jeter off second. 3-2. Williams draws the walk. So Shuey walks Williams after Jeter stole second. 2-on to Tino Martinez.
Well, I mentioned last night how tough Tino Martinez was on the Indians this year. Drove in 9 runs in just 10 games. So he's up here in a clutch situation with the score tied in the bottom of the 8th inning. There's not much strategy to talk about. Joe Torre and Don Zimmer know they just need a run, need a base hit.
Game tied at 1. 2-on, 2 down. Tino Martinez 0 for 2 and a walk in the game. Off-speed pitch. Boy, he pulled a string on him, meaning he gave him a changeup and just barely nubbed that one off the end of the bat. Strike 1.
Here's a look at the awkward swing by Tino Martinez. Good curveball with something taken off, as Gary said. And Tino Martinez off the end of the bat and foul. And if I were him, I'd be glad that ball went foul. That's not going to drive anybody in.
0-1 delivery. Shuey misses outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Tino Martinez faced Shuey and struck out in the ball game last night. Tino 0 for 7 in this series. 1-1 delivery. Way up high. 2-1. The Indians were hoping Shuey would come on and get Williams out of there and not have to face Tino Martinez. That didn't work. 2-1 delivery. 2-2. Get to this point, if you're a pitcher, you go with what brought you here. Whatever you do best, now's the time to do it.
And Shuey has some good weapons, though, and once again a splitter that Tino Martinez swings over the top of. This guy has what they call, the scouts call, a plus arm, which means he throws the ball very hard.
2-2 delivery. Just missed outside. Fans oohing and awing on that one. 3-2. With 2 down, look at Hargrove complaining about the call.
Yeah, he's wondering where all these strikes went that they got early in the ball game. Now all of a sudden, they aren't getting them. Neither side is getting them.
The runners will be running on this pitch with 2 down. 3-2 count. Game tied at 1. And Shuey got him. Big strikeout. And Shuey comes on and retires the Yankees, who got 2 walks in the inning, but could not convert either of those into a run. Tried to 9-iron that one. Didn't work. 1-1. You buy MasterCard. Great to have you with us on a tremendous ball game being played here at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, New York. Sundown here in New York City. Lights on at Yankee Stadium in a 1-1 game. 1-5-0 for each team as we go to the 9th inning. Paul Shuey with a big strikeout.
Yes, he did. He struck out Tino Martinez, who chased a bad pitch in the dirt for the 3rd out and enabled Cleveland to keep this ball game tied as we head to the top half of the 9th inning. The Yankees have made a change. They bring their closer, Mariano Rivera.
Rivera finished 7th in the league in saves. Those 54 games he pitched in, he was 36 for 41 in save opportunities. He replaces David Cone, who had a great start. 1 run, 5 hits in 8 innings. David Cone walked 3, struck out 5. Both starters non-decision, Cone and Nagy in this game. And Jim Thome trying to put Cleveland on top with 1 swing of the bat.
Well, when Rivera comes to the ball game, you're going to see heat and then more of it. Also has a cut fastball that is very effective. And that looked like it ran in on the hands of Jim Thome with something on it.
Thome takes the fastball inside. He has struck out 3 times, called out on all 3 occasions in this game.
Well, we showed the hockey players in attendance earlier. He's got the hat trick.
How about the golden sombrero?
Oh, man, you don't want that. That's 4 in a game.
4 strikeouts in a game, into the glove. Rivera with a big smile on a line drive that was, hey, look what I got.
The one thing the Yankees get when Mariano Rivera comes in the ballgame, he is an excellent fielder of his position. Quickness with the hands, quickness with the feet. Goes back to his days in Panama when he was a soccer player as well as a pitcher. And the quickness of the hands in evidence there as he catches this line drive off the bat of Jim Thome. Hey, I've got it right here.
No problem. Rivera making his 4th postseason appearance, has given up only 1 hit and 3 1/3 innings. 1 down, nobody on. Top of the 9th inning. And Travis Fryman fouls it off, strike 1, 1 for 3 with a single in the ball game. Struggling in the postseason. He's had only 3 hits in his last 20 at-bats, in the 20 at-bats he's had in postseason play. Justice's home run, the only run up there for Cleveland. The RBI double by Scott Brocious in the 7th inning for the Yankees. Justice now with 2 postseason home runs. Also has added a single, 2 of the 5 hits today. Thome thought he had one, but Rivera said no. Chop foul outside of 3rd. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Fryman.
Another thing that the Yankees get when Rivera comes into a ball game, he throws strikes. He's only walked 17 men during the regular season. That's awesome. Here's the Indians box score. You see Justice, the only one with a multiple hit game going, 2 for 3 with the home run.
Fryman 2 for 8 lifetime against Rivera. Fouls it off again. Remains at a ball and 2 strikes. Yankees won the regular season series against the Indians 7-4, winning 4 of the 5 games played here in New York. Cleveland will have their game 3 on their home turf. We'll be there Friday, 8 o'clock Eastern time for that game. Question is, will it be 2-0 Yankees or 1-1? Launch that one foul as he got around on it. Stays at a ball and 2 strikes.
I mentioned Fryman's very quick on pitches on the inner half, and he pulls that one foul. Got good wood on it. Here's a look at that last pitch. The pitch kind of boring in on his hands. Got that bat around quickly through the zone. Bat speed.
1-2 delivery. Outside slider. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Rivera born in Panama City. Now lives in La Chorrera, Panama.
Key member of this Yankees bullpen, which was #1 in the American League. What an at-bat here by Travis Fryman, battling off tough pitches. Keeping the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. He has seen 7 pitches so far in this at-bat. Yankee pitchers have continued to pitch just spectacularly here in the postseason. 1 run in this game, 4 runs in 5 postseason games off Yankee pitchers. 2 balls, 2 strikes on the 8th pitch thrown to him.
Yeah, Fryman stayed alive by fouling that pitch off. Rivera with the cut fastball also throws a slider, more pronounced break on it. But when I say a cut fastball, it's just a pitch that he holds a little off center. And as it comes to the plate, it just moves away from a right-handed hitter or in on a left-handed hitter.
Two-two delivery. And Fryman works the count to 3 balls and 2 strikes. Heart-pounding time for the managers. All managers will tell you, especially when most of them were players, it's one thing to be able to go out there and have an impact on the game as a player. When you got to stand there and just watch others try and do it, nerve-wracking. 3-2 struck him out. It took 10 pitches, but Rivera won the battle.
Mariano throws a fastball in the mid-90s, and usually his best stuff is a fastball right where you just saw this one. A little up in the zone. He powders it right by Travis Fryman for the strikeout. But nothing fancy here. Just see if you can hit it, and he could not. Strike 3.
Brian Giles, 2 down. Nobody on. 9th inning. 1-1.
You're right. Both Joe Torre and Mike Hargrove, very successful players in their days. Now all they do is sit back and make decisions, but they got to watch an awful lot of baseball.
Fans up, Yankee Stadium, 2-strike count. Giles has struck out once in this game, one of the 5 picked up by Cone. Sometimes you just can't bear to watch.
The Fryman's still upset about striking out.
Oh, 2 delivery by Rivera. Foul back off the fists of Brian Giles. Remains a 2-strike count.
With an off day tomorrow, a travel day to Cleveland, I believe that Joe Torre, if he had to, he would use Mariano Rivera for at least 2 innings.
Rivera has done that 3 times during the regular season. He worked 2 innings. Torre's hoping he won't have to do it here, so the Yankees will have a shot to win this game in the bottom of the 9th. But he is well rested. 1-2 pitch, foul back again by Giles. A chance for Alomar if Giles can keep the inning alive.
The confrontation that last year kept the Indians alive in Game 4.
A big home run off Rivera by Alomar. He's on deck. 1-2 delivered to Giles. Broken bat, foul ball. Barrel of the bat skipping by. He back at first, and Al Bumbry, the coach, who got out of the way.
Here's a look at it. You see Bumbry up, and he's going to end up with the end of the bat. He has to avoid the ball and the bat. Well, Boomer still has some moves down there. He was one of the quicker players in his day. Here's the broken bat, that cut fastball in on the hands. And another winner's souvenir as far as Wood is concerned. Al Bumbry, the all-time stolen base leader for the Baltimore Orioles. And a guy who played next to me for 10 years in the outfield.
And he could play.
Yes, he could. I made a good living saying, you got it out.
1 ball, 2-strike count. Rivera with 2 down and nobody on. Giles fouls it off his foot. Foul ball. These hitters, Fryman, now Giles, have really battled Mariano Rivera. Fryman ended up striking out on 10 pitches. 7 have now been thrown to Giles.
Now remember the pitch that Fryman struck out on the high fastball? After this last pitch was kind of low and in, and it was fouled off the foot, I believe this next one's going to be the high fastball. Try and put him away. There it is, but he fouled it back.
See Ted Hendry, the home plate umpire, jumping away. Girardi going, it's okay, it's okay. Hendry thought that might have been a pop-up behind home plate and didn't want to get in Girardi's way. Girardi was like, no, I'm not going after that. You're okay. Now give me the next call. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Still.
Rivera throws so hard that Giles has not been able to get the business end of the bat out to the ball quickly enough. Those cut fastballs in on the hands, he's jammed them on every single pitch.
Giles did not face Rivera this year and has faced him only once in his career. Strike 3 called. So Rivera wins both battles. He retires the side in order. The bottom of the 9th inning coming. The Yankees with a chance to win it. Raines, Spencer, and Brocious will be due up. So this bottom of the 9th inning, Yankee Stadium. Yankees won 7-2 in game 1. 1-1 ball game. Paul Shuey will stay on the mound. Face 2 hitters in the 8th. Walking Williams, striking out Martinez.
Just a couple of moments ago in between innings, Shane Spencer and Don Zimmer. Now, I don't know if they were talking about something defensively, that Shane Spencer will hit second in this inning. And some comforting thoughts from Don Zimmer.
A veteran and the rookie. Yankees need 1 to win. Shuey, strike on the outside corner to Raines. Tim Raines has had one of those nights. He has struck out 3 times. Twice swinging. 0 for 5 in the series. Breaking ball missed inside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
When you get to late innings and tie ball games, the defensive strategy changes. You can see Travis Fryman very close to the third baseline. Same thing applies to Jim Thome over at first. They don't want a ball, in Tome's case, hit to his left for a 2-base hit, and on Fryman's case to his right for a double. They'll give up a single, but they don't want to give up a 2-base hit that will put a runner into immediate scoring position.
Raines wants on any way he can get it here in the bottom half of the 9th inning. He's up with the count, 2 balls and 1 strike.
Here's where Raines' years as a leadoff hitter for both the White Sox and the Montreal Expos, one of the best of all time, might pay off. His ability to go deep in the counts, draw a walk if he can to get on base.
He's ahead on the count here, 3 balls and 1 strike.
One of 4 men in Major League history to steal 800 or more bases.
And he drew 55 walks, striking out only 49 times during the season. So he's got that eye. 3-1, chopped at that one. Vizquel cut off. Fryman not going to get him an infield single.
Remember we talked about Fryman guarding the line. It took him a little bit longer to get to this high chopper. A step or 2, and that's the difference as to why Tim Raines was able to get the base hit. Fryman has to come from near the line, almost to the shortstop position. He cuts in front of Vizquel. Raines, who's been bothered by a bad left knee, beats it out for the base hit. So they do give up the single instead of the double. You see the reaction to Raines going down the line, and he beats the play. And with Raines bothered by the bad left knee, we're going to get a pinch runner at first base as Rock, who had struck out 3 times, gets on with a leadoff single here in the bottom of the 9th. This is the speedy Homer Bush.
Homer Bush at first. There he goes. Running. Alomar, the throw down. Not in time. Stolen base.
Well, you could say with him going on the first pitch, there was no beating around the bush, was there? He just took off and tried to steal second and made it. Nice reception of the ball by Vizquel, who had to dig it out of the dirt, then made the tag. Homer Bush. They were thinking about all season long, would Homer Bush make the postseason roster? This is why he can get himself in the scoring position.
Close play at second base. I can't believe that Shuey did not throw over to first base at least once to get Bush evened up a little bit. But Hargrove, usually he makes the call on that. He will tell the catcher to tell the pitcher to throw over, and he didn't do it.
Well, Shane Spencer's job, not the home run, a single will do the job here.
1 for 3 with a single for Shane Spencer. Winning run, potential winning run now at second base with nobody out.
His job is either to drive Bush home or at least move him to third base.
27 RBIs in 27 games for Spencer during the regular season. Big cut, 1 ball, 1 strike. Or 1 ball, 2 strikes, rather.
Here's a look at the last pitch, and it's a split finger. Look at that thing move. Kind of dove right in on the hands of Shane Spencer over the top of the strike.
He has 4 RBIs in the postseason. Shuey waiting for him to stand back in. Yankees 1 run away from taking a 2-0 lead in the series. Took a little bit off that one and struck him out. So Spencer retired. Shuey gets his second K of the game.
Well, the thing about strikeouts here, the great equalizer for pitchers, because nobody advances on a strikeout. And Homer Bush is still at second base. This is key for Shuey to get this man out without the runner advancing, and he does. Again, a good split finger fastball. Kind of dives right in underneath the bat.
They're not going to take a chance with Scott Brocious. Brocious, as we said, the best Yankee hitter in the regular season with runners in scoring position, already has an RBI double in this ball game. So they're going to put him on with first base open and 1 away. Girardi's the on-deck batter. Pretty respectful when the number 8 hitter in the lineup is given the intentional pass. Jorge Posada ready to come out to hit for Girardi.
So Brocious, who drove in 98 runs during the regular season, will not get a chance. And Joe Torre, forced by Mike Hargrove to make a move to take out Joe Girardi for Jorge Posada, who's been a better hitter this year and a good RBI man. And the fact that he's a switch hitter, batting left-handed against Paul Shuey. And we saw Posada in action last night with a couple of hits and a couple of runs batted in.
Mike Hargrove willing to give the intentional pass here because that run doesn't matter. So on at second base, Homer Bush. That's the only one. That's the potential game-winning run right there. And a speedster. Any hit to the outfield, the outfielders are really going to have to hurry a throw to the plate with this guy charging around from second base. Jorge Posada. Fine numbers, part of this catching tandem with Girardi. Combined hit .271, third best in the league. 19 homers, third best in the league. 88 RBIs, third best in the league for the catching position. They combined for those numbers. 1 down, game on the line, breaking ball inside, ball 1.
This game rests solely in the hands of Paul Shuey. There is nobody warming up in the Cleveland bullpen.
Posada faced Shuey once this year, 0 for 1. That's all he's ever seen him. Strike call, 1-1. 1 down, 9th inning, 1-1. Yankees trying to wrap it up with a base hit here in the bottom of the 9th. Andy Pettitte will be the starter in Cleveland for game 3. 1-1 pitch. Ground ball towards second base. Cora, Vizquel, and they turn two. Paul Shuey with a great job for the Cleveland Indians. Sends this game into extra innings, and New York, a team that led the American League with runners in scoring position, can't buy one in this game. 1 for 13 for the Yankees. With runners in scoring position, we go to the 10th. 1-5-0 for Cleveland.
Here's a double play that got the Indians out of the inning. A tailor-made ground ball to second. Nice flip to Vizquel, who avoids the runner, throws the first. And the Indians send the game into extra innings as Paul Shuey for the second inning strands Yankees on base.
1-6-0 for the Yankees. Shuey with 2 big strikeouts so far. Now, we mentioned Mariano Rivera working beyond the 3 outs, something he normally doesn't do. Did it 3 times during the regular season. So he's being asked to do it here as he goes into his second inning of relief work. Alomar, Cora, and Lofton will be due up against him here in the 10th inning. 1-1 ball game. Alomar last year.
Let's go back to game 4, division series. He's up by a run. And a home run in the bottom of the 8th inning ties the score. The Indians went on to win that game. They won the next day, and they went to the World Series.
Alomar takes that. 1 ball, 1 strike. It has been a while for Alomar as far as the long ball is concerned. Injuries that have bothered him all year long. His last home run on August 1st. He did not homer in his last 116 at bats. Fouls that one off down the line. A ball and 2 strikes, and he broke the bat.
From Mariano Rivera's standpoint, he's saying a year late.
Gave the bat to a fan that time.
Yeah, a lot of questions that Mariano Rivera and several of the Yankees about that home run last year. What did it mean? Was all this revenge plot by the Yankees to get back and beat the Indians finally and move on in the postseason, when last year was the Indians who spoiled the Yankees' chances of defending the world title of 1996. And I don't really believe in the revenge thing, but it's almost as if you know what happened. You can't change it. I mean, it's in the past. You have to go on from there. And I think that's part of all being a closing pitcher. Some days you just don't get it done.
I think the fans put a lot more into that than the players do. And that one is short. Soft liner hauled in by Jeter. Alomar retired. 1 for 4 for Sandy Alomar, and Rivera gets the leadoff batter in the 10th inning.
He might have broken his bat on that one. So 2 bats and 2 pitches for Sandy Alomar.
That'll bring up the number 9 hitter, Joey Cora. Another broken bat taken back. Joey Cora 0 for 3 in this game. 1 for 16 in postseason. That's why he's got that .062 postseason batting average. And Rivera's got a strike on the inside corner. Nagy started for Cleveland, then Reed, Poole, and Shuey. It's only been Cone and Rivera for the Yankees.
Yeah, I was going to mention Puerto Rican flag, the symbol on Joey Cora's hat or helmet.
Down to first base, Martinez will make the flip. Cora's retired with Rivera covering, 2 down.
If you're wondering about the records of these 2 teams in extra innings, the Yankees, as you might expect, were pretty good with the winning record of 114 games this season. Yankees 9-2 in extra innings. The Indians not quite as successful. 5-10 for Cleveland.
The better bullpen belonging to the Yankees, making a ton of difference. Doesn't hurt to have the number 1 offense to go with that as well, which the Yankees did. Paul Shuey's the man in there right now for Cleveland. And Rivera for the Yankees. 2 down, nobody on. Kenny Lofton. Fastball inside, ball 1. One of the reasons the Indians are struggling to score, Kenny Lofton has not been on base in this series. 0 for 8. Fouls it back. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And the Yankees still expect him to at one time try and break out of this slump by laying down a bunt. Scott Brocious right in there on the grass to try to prevent the base hit. Because a base hit by Lofton is almost like a double. He can steal second.
1 ball, 1 strike count. Lofton, another broken bat. Jeter's got it in a great inning. Rivera sawing him off. Retires the side in order. All 6 batters faced by Rivera have been retired. Shuey will come back against those Yankees in the 10th. I'm in New York, and we welcome the Armed Forces Radio and Television Service providing this American League Championship Series game to military forces and their families overseas via the American Forces Network. Proud to have you all with us. Welcome, everybody.
2 innings for Mariano Rivera. As we suspected, he will be out of the ball game. This game should continue with the Yankees not scoring here in the bottom of the 10th inning. So good job done by the Yankee closer.
He retired all 6 batters that he faced.
And Mike Stanton would be next. The left-handers warming up in the pen.
Yankees trying to wrap it up right here against Paul Shuey in the 10th inning. Knobloch 0 for 4, 1 for 9 in the series. A chopper to second base. Big hop, Cora, throw. Close but got it. Talking about those overseas, we had an email from Kathy Kott. She's at Ramstein Air Base in Germany watching the game last night at 3:25 in the morning German time, and thanks for the email. Going to be a little later tonight, this morning, as we're in the 10th inning. 7:30 in the evening here in New York. 1 down, nobody on. Derek Jeter got his hit a double in the 1st inning. Also has drawn a walk. He gets jammed, fouled off, and a 1 strike count.
Derek Jeter's worked a lot with the weight program that has really increased his strength, his ability to drive the ball. He did something here this year that I have never seen a right-handed hitter do at Yankee Stadium. Hit a home run into the upper deck in right field as a right-handed hitter. And I have never seen that done.
That is a long shot.
Well, left-handed hitters do it quite often, but not right-handed hitters.
That's what the Yankees are hoping for right there, Yankee fans. Fouls that one off down the right field line, and an 0-2 count on Jeter. Shuey has done an excellent job in relief with 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. Coming on in the 8th inning, he gave up a leadoff single in the 9th inning to Raines. Yankees couldn't convert it to a game-winning run. 0-2 count with 1 down, and Jeter takes it outside, 1-2. Yankees, remember, have won 11 consecutive games. They finished the regular season with 7 wins. They've won the first 4 playoff games this year. Chance to make it 12. They can score 1 more run. That one looped down the line and right, carrying to the corner. Ramirez was there. Made that look easy, and it wasn't. 2 down.
It looked as though he took 1 false step, speaking of Ramirez in right field, then recovered and got headed in the right direction and hauled the ball in. Ramirez's outfield ability has actually improved quite a bit this year. He used to take a lot of flack and heat from the press in Cleveland about his inability to field his position. Well, now they starting to praise him for his job in right field. They're realizing he's made an improvement.
That's going to be it for Shuey. Paul Assenmacher, the left-hander, who's been ready for a couple of innings, will come into the ball game with left-hander Paul O'Neill coming up for the Yankees. We're in the bottom of the 10th inning of a 1-1 game, tied Yankee Stadium. Now the left-hander Paul Assenmacher on.
And I think if you ask Paul O'Neill, who is scheduled to hit for the Yankees and will face Assenmacher, if he was going alphabetically and wanted to say the toughest pitchers that he has to face, he would say Assenmacher. If it wasn't alphabetically, he would still say Assenmacher. 3 for 24 lifetime, and that you can be assured that Mike Hargrove is well aware of the fact that Paul O'Neill does not hit this guy very well. And talking to O'Neill over the years, he has said that I can't pick up his breaking ball. And Asemacher has a very good one.
Well, he tries again. Check swing. Did he go? Yes, he did. And O'Neill saying to himself right now, yeah, it's Asemacher. 2 down, bases empty.
Here's a look at that last pitch. Does he go around? Yes, he did. Strike one. Paul Asemacher, who has bedeviled Paul O'Neill over the years, the pitcher who has made the most appearances out of the bullpen in the 1990s.
And another specialist, Kenny, we were talking about earlier, generally brought on to get 1 or 2 outs in a game, to get a left-handed hitter out. What's amazing is left-handers hit .313 off him this year.
Yeah, he's had a bad year against lefties, but he hasn't gotten to face Paul O'Neill all the time.
And Paul's very thankful for that. A 2-ball, 1-strike count. Bullpens are deep now. Mike Jackson, Burba, both up. Jackson the closer for Cleveland. Asemacher, 2-ball, 1-strike count, 2 down, bases empty. And O'Neill hits a towering pop-up to shallow right. Ramirez. And Asemacher gets the job done. Yankees are retired in order in the 10th inning. And Paul O'Neill says, Paul Asemacher, at the age of 37, why haven't you retired? 2. This one tied at 1-1. David Justice, the home run for Cleveland. And an RBI double by Scott Brocious tied it up in the 7th inning for the Yankees, and we go deep into the bullpen.
Yeah, they're going to come out with the left-hander Mike Stanton, who during the regular season made 67 appearances, had a record of 4-1, 69 strikeouts in 79 innings, 71 hits, 26 walks. Mike Stanton usually can tell how effective he's going to be right away. If he starts getting the ball over the plate, throwing strikes, he usually gets the job done. If he's wilding all over the place, you can expect some men to get on base. And usually in situations where Stanton's in the game, it is very critical, as it is tonight.
He finished up well last 5 appearances in the regular season. Just 1 run, 1 hit over 5 2/3 innings. Stanton is making his first postseason appearance. He did not appear in the games in Texas. Did not have to appear in game 1 last night. The starters have gone so deep, so well for the Yankees. The bullpen has not had a lot of work prior to, and even including this game, as Rivera worked 2 innings, and now Stanton just the 3rd pitcher. Omar Vizquel, number 2 hitter in the lineup for the Indians, will lead it off. Had a triple his last time up. Indians had a great chance in the 8th inning after he had a 1-out triple to take the lead, but could not get Vizquel home against starter David Cone. One strikeout. Vizquel 3 for 5 lifetime against Stanton, and the pitch is outside. 1-1. One ball, 1 strike count in a pivotal game in this series. Foul that back. 1-2.
Well, games at shortstop all-time postseason. Jeff Glauser, of course, with the Braves, now with the Cubs, active 55 games. Phil Rizzuto 52, Bill Russell 49, Rafael Belliard 44, Mark Belanger 43, and Omar Vizquel 43. Pee Wee Reese of the Dodgers with 44 games at short.
Omar Vizquel, 1-2 count. Stanton's delivery to him is down low for a ball. And it's 2-2. Vizquel, a .274 hitter off left-handed pitchers during the regular season, just trying to get on. Get a go-ahead run here in the 11th inning. Mike Stanton's pitch, foul back again. 1-6-0 for the Yankees, 1-5-0 for the Indians. Yankees have stranded 9 base runners in this game. Indians had the bases loaded in the 4th inning and could not convert. That was potentially their biggest inning, but couldn't get it. David Wells, winning pitcher on the right, and Sandy Pettit, the next starter, on the left, watching the ball game. There he is. will be in Cleveland for the game on Friday night at 8 o'clock. Don't forget, the Padres and the Braves go at it. Game 1 of the National League Championship Series in Atlanta tonight. About 15 minutes or so from now, many of you will be seeing that game. American League tends to play long ball games. This one long for 2 reasons, because it's the American League and now it's extra innings.
Fans might wonder why that happens, because their pitcher doesn't hit. The outs don't come as quickly.
We've gone over 3.5 hours in this game.
There is Jeff Nelson, the 6'7" right-hander, warming up for the Yankees.
3-2 delivery. Vizquel popped it back. No play. And the count remains 3-2 on Omar Vizquel. Justice on deck, and then Manny Ramirez. You got 2, 3, 4 in the lineup for Cleveland. They're run producers. Vizquel has taken Stanton to the 9th pitch in this at bat. Again, 3-2 delivery. And Vizquel again fouls it back. Count will stay at 3-2.
Stanton brings with him a wealth of postseason experience with the Atlanta Braves, the Red Sox, the Texas Rangers, and now the Yankees. All in postseason for Mike Stanton. So he is used to these situations.
31-year-old left-hander delivers 3-2, and for the 3rd time on a full count, Omar Vizquel keeps his at-bat alive.
When Lofton was out with injuries, Vizquel was moved up to the leadoff spot in the order, so he knows what it means to be getting on base at first man of an inning, trying to make something happen.
Kenny Lofton, the leadoff spot now. 3-2 pitch. Spencer in left. 1 down. Vizquel retired. That battle won by Mike Stanton to get the first out there in the 11th inning. Designated hitter in the game, David Justice, delivered the only run for Cleveland way back in the 4th inning.
In fact, it was so long ago, it was still daylight here at Yankee Stadium. Ball hit hard and deep to right field, just out of the reach of Paul O'Neill. And that's been the only run of the game for the Cleveland Indians.
2 postseason home runs. And Stanton is in with a strike. Justice has faced Stanton only once, 0 for 1.
Got a pretty good day going for himself with the 2 for 3.
Hit only .232 off left-handers, and that's why. 2-strike count.
And that's why his average this year was down under 300 at 280. No success against lefties. Good slider.
He tries to pull the left-handers, Kenny, instead of taking that ball the other way this year.
He told me his approach usually is back through the middle and the other way. Says he concentrates more against lefties and that, forgets the home run ball. Goes for the singles and the doubles.
All really good left-handed hitters against left-handed pitchers, for the most part, will take that ball to left field. 1-2 delivery. Fouled that one back. Stanton came in on him that time. Stays at 1-2.
Pitcher trying to stay one step ahead of the hitter, moving the ball around, not keeping it in one area pitch after pitch. That man does that very well.
David Wells just missed with that down low. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Stottlemyre, pitching coach, on the bullpen phone.
Well, with Manny Ramirez coming up next, you would figure that Jeff Nelson would come in and pitch to him. Righty against righty, playing the percentages.
Boy, he just barely stayed alive. Stanton set him up. Kenny was talking about that. Come inside on him. get him straightened up a bit so he doesn't lean over the plate, then put a pitch away from him again. And Justice just able to foul it off.
Part of being a good hitter is being able to spoil the tough pitches, keep your at-bat going, then maybe the pitcher will make a mistake and you can hit something hard.
2-2 delivery. Justice, the ground ball to second. Chuck Knobloch over to Martinez. 2 down. And with the game on the line, Joe Torre on his way out here in the 11th inning with 2 away. Manny Ramirez, the next hitter. Graham Lloyd again, second time in the ball game he has gotten up to throw. The stadium for those games next Tuesday and Wednesday evenings.
And the World Series schedule of ball games for the 1998 series. And first game will be October 17th and the 18th game 2. Both of those will be in the American League City. Then they move to the National League City for the next 3 games, 3, 4, and 5. October 20th, 21st, and 22nd. And then finally, the American League City will see the last 2 games of the World Series, if they are necessary, October 24th and October 25th.
It'll be snowing by then.
It did in Cleveland last year,
Sure
didn't it? And what was the, we asked Joe Torre about the weather report in Cleveland.
He said it's going to be cold.
But it can't be any colder than it was last year during the World Series when it snowed in home runs during the regular season.
And hardly got noticed with the McGuire-Sosa
Oh, man. Too many guys with 50 this year.
Gosh.
Griffey Jr., Greg Vaughn. How about that? His last at bat of the year. San Diego's Greg Vaughn hits his 50th home run.
Magic number. Nelson has given up 1 home run in his career to Ramirez. Gets the strike here. 2 down, nobody on. 1-1 game in the 11th inning.
For those of you who were with us earlier, remember Steve Reed coming in out of the bullpen for the Cleveland Indians. Very similar delivery for Jeff Nelson. Jeff Nelson maybe a few inches taller, so it makes it look like he's throwing the ball right out of the third base dugout. Tough on right-handed hitters.
For Ramirez during the regular season, a .278 hitter with 27 home runs off right-handers. He hit .340 though off left-handers with 18 homers. That's why the right-hander's on now against Ramirez.
You notice he has a tendency to smile when he's up at the plate. I would be smiling too if I were hitting like him.
45 home runs. And Nelson winds that one all the way to the backstop off the glove of Jorge Posada. 2-ball, 1-strike count. Yankees in 1-run ball games this year were 21-10, as you would expect for a team that won 114 games. We played and won a lot of 1-run affairs. Cleveland ended up 500 in 1-run games, 23-23 in the year for Mike Hargrove's club. There's a talent there somewhere, being able to spit between the wire fence. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Here's a look at the last pitch. He stayed with the breaking ball to Manny Ramirez. And look at that ball dip right at the end. Call strike 2.
2-2 delivery. Oh, Ramirez double clutched and Nelson wanted that one. He had him fooled. Ramirez stride way out in front on that pitch, but he didn't get the strike call.
Yeah, early in this game, Ramirez would have been headed back to the dugout, but not here with the game on the line and the game all tied up in 1. Seems that the strike zone has shrunk considerably. Like that wool sweater that you washed and you shouldn't have.
3-2. Strike 3 called. Nelson got him. The game remains tied. Yankee relievers have retired all 9 batters they have faced. The bullpen getting it done. Yankees need 1 to win it when we come back. Bottom half of the 11th inning. Game tied at 1 apiece. A pitcher's battle. Both starters and bullpens have gotten the job done so far. Yankees get one, it's over, and they take a 2-0 lead in this series.
The Yankee bullpen, including Jeff Nelson, has been perfect. The Indian bullpen has allowed 1 hit in 3 1/3 innings. Dueling bullpens.
Got a movie there somewhere. Bernie Williams, Paul Assenmacher fouled off. For those of you who are tuning in to see the National League Championship Series, our viewers in Latin America and the Pacific, we will be bringing the Padres National League Series immediately following this game. Gary Thorne Stadium for the finish of this game. 7-2 last night in game 1. Assenmacher's pitch, strike on the outside corner. 2-strike count on Bernie Williams. Williams, a .350 hitter this year off left-handers, including 9 home runs off southpaws. Pitch outside.
I mean, if Travis Fryman were guarding the line anymore, he would be in foul territory. He does not want Bernie Williams to hit anything to his right. My goodness.
He couldn't.
No, there's no way.
He couldn't get down there and place the ball. 1-2 delivery to Williams. Breaking ball missed inside from Assenmacher. 2-2.
Expecting Bernie Williams to pull the ball and not hit it in his direction. Jim Tomei off the line a bit.
Williams 1 for 3 in his career against this left-hander. The veteran's 2-2. Got him. Paul Assenmacher gets the strikeout. 1 away in the bottom half of the 11th inning.
Let's check out this last pitch. Target is low and inside. And appeared to be a slider, and Bernie over the top for the strikeout. Bernie Williams quick enough with the bat, but not accurate enough as he strikes out.
1 away. Williams goes back to the bench. Tino Martinez, left-hander against left-hander, and a strike.
Now it's Tomei guarding the line with a left-handed hitter up. You can't squeeze anything between him and that foul line. And on the other side, Fryman has moved up. See, the defensive strategies late in ball games.
Pulling strings here. Pitch is taken down low. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And when you look at the outfielders, they're deep. They don't want a ball to go over their heads for an extra bases. So depending on situations in ball games, you set up your defense accordingly.
Managers dueling strategies here. Inside. Assenmacher falling behind. 2 ball, 1 strike. The DH now will be Chili Davis on deck as Homer Bush came on to run for Raines in the 9th inning. So the DH role open. Bush is not going to take that role. He's just a pinch runner. 2-1 delivery. Grounded down to first and foul. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Martinez. Tino Martinez hit well against left-handers. 268. 9 home runs off them. Yankees have good left-handed hitters against left-handed pitchers. Very tough to match up against them with left-handed pitchers.
These guys are everyday players. Very rarely do they come out of the lineup against a lefty.
2-2 delivery by Assenmacher is outside. 3-2. David Justice with a home run for the Indians back in the 4th gave them the 1-0 lead. Scott Brocious with an RBI double in the 7th inning, scoring. Bernie Williams tied it up. The only runs in this game. 3-2, and he struck him out. Two down.
Assenmacher's patented pitch for battling left-handed hitters over the years has been that sweeping slider, and he strikes out Tino Martinez. Here's a look at the last pitch. Didn't end up in the strike zone. Look how far away this is out of the zone, and Tino chases it and strikes out.
That will be it for Paul Assenmacher. That strikeout will end his work as Tino Martinez became the second out. And Dave Burba will come on and be the 6th pitcher for the Cleveland Indians in this game. With Davis coming up in the designated hitter role. Assenmacher out of there. 2 strikeouts. Good job by Paul Assenmacher. That's what he gets paid to do, and he did it.
Yeah, but the only thing with Chili Davis coming to the plate, he's a switch hitter. And I don't know if the Indians have been looking at what Chili Davis did since
Dave Burba, right-handed. And a fastball down low, ball 1.
You saw Burber's record of 15-10. He worked mainly as a starter for the Cleveland Indians this year. He was scheduled to be the opening day starter for the Cincinnati Reds. And about a day before the season started, they traded him to Cleveland.
Here's the 1-0 delivery. And a base hit. Davis on first at bat with a single. Played in by Kenny Lofton. A 2-out single in the 11th inning. And it will bring the rookie Spencer up.
That Chili Davis pitch is supposed to be on the outer half of the plate. It's a little bit more towards the middle. Singles into center field. And Chili Davis with the base hit, but it looks like we're going to get a pinch runner for him. Chili does not run all that well getting to the latter stages of his career. But he does get puts the potential winning run aboard.
The pinch runner on at first base, Ricky Leday, will run, representing the potential winning run in this ball game. Leday running at first. Shane Spencer, 2 for 3 with 2 home runs off Dave Burba for the rookie this year. And the pitch is down low, ball 1. The day being held at first base. Torrey trying to get this winning run across. Hargrove looking at the matchup sheets. 1-0 delivery by Burba. Strike called. High fastball. 1-1. Even the rookies are wondering about the strike zone.
That 2 home run game by Shane Spencer off of Dave Burba came in the first game of a day-night doubleheader in the last week of the season. He also hit a ball in the upper deck foul.
1-1 delivery to him. That's why Burba is being so careful. 2-ball, 1 strike count on the rookie Shane Spencer. Rookie against the 32-year-old Dave Burba. Look at the discussion. That's with home plate umpire Ted Hendry. Mike Hargrove has about had it with the strike zone. I'm sure Torrey has too, but he's less demonstrative about it.
It's been a floating zone. There it is, that flip the water away by Hargrove when he's angry.
2-1s down low, 3-1. Three-ball, 1 strike count on Spencer. Runner at first base. 1-1 game. 3-1. Center field. Rainmaker. Lofton. That'll do it. No runs. Base hit. 1 left on. We have now completed 11, and Hendry and Hargrove will have a discussion between innings here about that strike zone. 1-1. Much may get some time in this game. He's one of them. Jim Thome leads it off for the Indians. Jeff Nelson worked to 1 hitter, got Ramirez in the 11th inning. Thome's had a frightful day. 3 strikeouts and a line drive out. Right back to the mound his last time up into the glove of Mariano Rivera. Nelson's pitch, strike called on the slider. 1-1.
Not gotten the ball out of the infield, but Thome is still very dangerous. Hasn't had a hot postseason. But it's not a bad thing to have your power hitter leading off an inning in a tie ball game or a game where you're 1 run down. Pitcher has to throw you strikes.
Tomey can rattle away, try and drive one deep. Rally caps are on by the Indians. You see they've turned their caps around, wearing them backwards, just trying to get a little good luck going. Anything at this point.
I think you're down to your last straws when you do that.
You're saying it's not a fashion statement?
No, not so much that, but it's not going to change anything.
And a line drive into left field for a base hit. See ye who doubt. Ye who doubt. See, the rally caps gave him a base hit. Jim Tomey's on with the leadoff single. Hit for the Indians.
Down and away, Jim Tomey hadn't got the ball out of the infield until this pitch. Singles into left field off the end of the bat over the head of Jeter. And they have a leadoff man on. It looks like they're going to come out with a pinch runner. And it looks like Enrique Wilson, who made his appearance at Yankee Stadium in the last series of the season. And in fact, hit a grand slam off of Andy Pettitte to beat him.
Jim Tomey out, gets the 6th hit for Cleveland. Enrique Wilson at first, pinch running. Both managers trying to get 1 run, get a lead in this game. Not had a run scored since the 7th inning. We are in the 12th.
This is the first lineup change that Mike Hargrove has made. So if we go any further in this game, he has more players to go to than Joe Torre does.
Yankees are expecting the bunt from Travis Fryman.
And that's why you got to throw the first base. And what happens is the hitter sometimes will give you an indication of whether he's going to bunt or not on a throw over the first. He'll make that slightest of moves to get ready to bunt. And sometimes it will indicate to all the infielders what's going to happen.
We had Tim Raines up for the Yankees in a sacrifice situation. He'd never bunted all year and couldn't get it done. Travis Fryman does not have a sacrifice bunt this year.
He's an RBI man. He's driven in 96 runs this year.
And he did not show bunt. Ball 1. Signs relayed. Positioning of the outfielders by the Yankees. Much straight away in the outfield, fairly deep on Travis Fryman. Wilson again back to first.
Remember what I mentioned about managers putting in players in situations where they felt they could succeed? Maybe that's why Travis Fryman didn't show a bunt on that first pitch, because he doesn't do it. He's a guy with power. Hit 28 home runs this year. Don't ask him to bunt very often.
Yeah, the Yankees want the double play. Of course, now he does bunt, and a great bunt. Martinez got a hurry, and he didn't get it. And going to third will be Wilson. Nobody going to get the ball. Wilson's coming home. He trips. Play to the plate. He's safe. Enrique Wilson came around third base, stumbling and bumbling, and literally fell to home. We're going to get an argument here about whether or not there was base runner interference on the play at first base by Travis Fryman, the hitter-runner.
The problem with the argument here, though, and we're going to have both umpires get together on this before they make a call. Now, there's a 45-foot line down the first baseline. A runner running down the first has to run within those 2 parameters while going to first. Both managers out on the field. Now watch as Fryman lays the ball down. We're going to get a good look at this. And it is quite obvious once he gets to the 45-foot line, he is not in between those 2 white lines, and that makes it difficult for the Tino Martinez to throw the ball to first. Chuck Knobloch does have an argument, but he has to go get the baseball. That enables Wilson to come all the way to score and Fryman to go all the way to third base. There's no doubt in my mind that Fryman was not within those 2 lines going down to first base.
You saw Knobloch, when he was on first base, act as though the home plate umpire had already made an interference call. Ted Hendry did not make an interference call, the home plate umpire. And between home plate and first base, any action there, it's the call of the home plate umpire. The first base umpire takes over when the ball goes beyond first base. That's why Hendry is the key umpire, and he never signaled interference or the base runner going out of the path.
And it looks like Joe Torre can't believe what he just heard. Remember the 45-foot line. Halfway down the line, Fryman has to go to his right and run in between those two. He did not do it. The ball hits him in the back. Knobloch knows the rule. He knows that you have to be able to make an accurate throw. Watch the trip of Wilson coming around third. Looks like he's an Olympic swimmer, but instead, did he touch home plate?
Well, they never tagged him, so that play's over. He scores. Cleveland has a 2-1 lead. A runner at third base, nobody out. And Brian Giles up. Joe Torre argued, but not much you can do about that. The umpires did confer, and those rally caps have worked.
I do not know if Hendry saw the play or not. Maybe he's looking at the baseball and not the runner.
Runner at third base, 2-1. Indians leading. What a strange play. Enrique Wilson, guys had to be wanting to go out and carry him home. Look at him. It's like you're stumbling, bumbling in. Somebody come get me. Hey, he made it. Funny now because it counts for them, not for the Yankees. Yankees have the infield drawn in. Nobody out. 1-1 delivered to Giles. Strike on the outside corner. 1 ball, 2 strikes. There will be a sacrifice credited on that play to Fryman. Then a 2-base error will be charged to Tino Martinez on the throw, allowing the run to score, Wilson, and Fryman to go to third. And this is a big run at third base. 1-2 delivery. Strike 3 called. And Giles turns for the umpteenth time in this game in disbelief. 1 down.
You know, with both managers, all the hitters, now the infielders, that is a call, strike 3. It came back to the corner. I don't think you're seeing umpiring at its best today. There's no doubt in my mind.
Bad calls early and then change of calls in the middle to the end of this game. 1 down. Infield still in. Alomar hitting the back, and Hendry got hit by the catcher standing up, Posada. Mercy. Getting ugly here in the 12th inning. There was no way Nelson wanted to hit anybody.
Well, the pitch came off of Alomar and then hit Ted Hendry. Let's listen to it. Two for the price of 1.
Wow. Runners now at first and third, and with 1 down, the Yankees will still play to cut the run off at the plate. Rather than kind of play it halfway and think about getting 2. They can still possibly get the double play with the infield drawn in, obviously, but it's much tougher to turn because your fielders are out of position at short and second to make any play at second base.
One thing to remember, Joey Cora is an excellent bunter, and you have a pretty good runner at third base in Travis Fryman.
And they got him picked off, but they were charging. The squeeze was on. The squeeze was on, runner was coming, but Brocious was charging at third base, and no one was there to take the throw at third, or they would have had him.
But alertly, Jeff Nelson steps off the third and then looks to first base. You can step off, but nobody's there. Nobody's there to take the throw.
That's a miscue on signs in the infield somewhere. One down. Squares. Safety squeeze here. Runner not coming.
They had a pitch out by the Yankees. So everybody knows that Joey Cora is quite capable of getting down a good bunt. Indians trying to build one more insurance run here in the top of the 12th.
Fourth hardest American leaguer to strike out, Joey Cora. 1-0 delivery. Went outside. Runner not coming. 2-0. Indians have taken a lead in a very un-Yankee-like inning. With the error committed on the play at first base, Knobloch then didn't go get the ball. The run scores. Hit batter, Alomar. Enrique, the pinch runner, came in to score. And now this play at third base, where they should have had an out and didn't get it. Outside corner, strike 2 and 1.
So the Indians had a runner score all the way from first base on a ball that didn't leave the infield.
There were 6 bases covered as a result of that play at first that allowed Wilson, the pinch runner, to score. 2 ball, 1 strike. Fake look to third, no throw. Joey Cora, 2 ball, 1 strike count. Delivery to him, that missed away. 3 and 1. Lofton's on deck, the leadoff batter, and the closer for the Indians, who's been up once before, now up for real, Mike Jackson. What an inning. Only 1 away. 3-1 delivery. Walked him in the base. Kenny Lofton. The infield remains drawn in. Remember now, the Yankees on a ground ball could turn a double play, going to the plate first and then to first base. To turn 2 to end the inning on a ground ball. Lofton is very tough to double up. Fast runner. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Hey, here's the catch on that email from Australia. P.S. It says go Braves.
Sorry, they're waiting for the next game.
Yeah.
Kenny Lofton 0 for 9 in this series, including an 0 for 5 tonight. Graham Lloyd outside. 2 ball, 1 strike count. No place to put Kenny Lofton.
Jim Thome's only hit of the night started it all.
2-2.
As the Yankees were getting ready for postseason and had already clinched the division, Graham Lloyd came out of the bullpen, did some very good work to more or less earn that spot on the roster.
2-2 delivery. Lofton, big base hit into the gap in left center field. That's going to score 2 runs. Lofton's going to try for 2. He's dead meat. Lofton gets in a run down with the runner at third, tagged out. Knobloch makes sure the runner at third does not score. So Kenny Lofton will be credited with a 2 RBI single, bringing home Travis Fryman and Sandy Alomar. He tried to turn it into a double and got thrown out as Spencer hustled over the left fielder to get the relay throw in. Stopping at third base was Joey Cora. It's a 4-1 Indians lead.
Well, they've been waiting on Kenny Lofton to come up with a hit. He does here. We talked about getting extra runs here. The ball by Jeter into left center field. 2 runs will score. Shane Spencer makes the correct decision in throwing the ball to second, as Knobloch will apply the tag to the retreating Kenny Lofton.
2 down. 3 runs in the 12th inning. Big hit for Kenny Lofton. 4 runs, 7 hits now for the Indians. And fouled off by Omar Vizquel with a runner at third and 2 down. So Lloyd comes on. Fell behind, got the count even, and then Lofton did the damage. A chopper back to Graham Lloyd, looking for the 3rd out, guns it over, and that will do it as Vizquel is retired. But the Cleveland Indians with a big break as Wilson came in to score the first run on a belly flop. They now have a 4-1 lead. Game.
Well, we mentioned the fact that Paul Assenmacher's made the most appearances in the 1990s. Here's a man who's number 2 on the list, Mike Jackson, a veteran. Been with several ball clubs, Cincinnati Reds. He's been with Seattle Mariners, San Francisco Giants. A lot of people felt that if he had stayed in Seattle, their bullpen problems might be over. But they continue to have them. And one reason is they didn't have enough money to pay Mike Jackson, and they traded him. And now he's taken over the role as a closer for the Cleveland Indians.
He is the 7th pitcher to be used in this game. Scott Brocious takes the strike on the inside corner. Joey Cora out of the game. You saw Cora in the dugout, and Wilson stays in. Enrique Wilson at second base. Scott Brocious swung on and missed. Sexton is also in the game at first base for Jim Thome, who came out for a pinch runner. There he is. 4-1 lead for the Indians. 2 of the runs earned, 1 unearned in the 12th inning as a result of that error, the only error we've had in the game. Scott Brocious, an RBI double. The only RBI in this ball game for the Yankees.
Well, what makes Mike Jackson so hard to hit for hitters like Brocious and the rest of the American League? He has one of the nastiest sliders in baseball. Hard, sharp breaking, breaks late. Also has a very good fastball. And he's not afraid to buzz the tower. And what I mean by that, he'll come high and inside with a fastball if he feels it's necessary.
Brocious 3 for 10 against him in his career. Fouls it back. Count remains a ball and 2 strikes. Some kind of a ball game. Tino Martinez. The Yankees hoping to be able to come back here.
That's Enrique Wilson, who took over at second base. Fine young prospect. His best position is shortstop. So he's not used to turning the double play as a second baseman. But the Indians have used him after being called up for the minors at second and at short.
Indian fans are smiling here at Yankee Stadium. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Jackson. And he misses down low. Yankees obviously need base runners here in the bottom of the 12th inning. 2 ball, 2 strike count. Outside corner. We can't end this game without at least one more disgruntled hitter on a called 3rd strike.
Well, what's one more? And Scott Brocious is called out on strikes. Here's a look at it. Yeah, he's got a beat. Sometimes the camera angles might fool you, but that looked a little bit too far outside. That didn't fool anybody.
1 down. Jorge Posada. Posada it into a double play, only at bat. See David Wells shaking his head there. Joe Girardi, the catcher next to him. Wells probably thinking, man, we were umpiring last night, I'd had a no-hitter. Grounded towards short. Vizquel, 2 down. And the Yankees have some upset fans in this game. Largely about the umpiring situation. On the other hand, he umpired for both teams. Yankees have gone only 1 for 13 with runners in scoring position in this game. They have stranded 10 base runners. Jackson trying to finish it off. He is in a save situation. 2 down, bases empty. Chuck Knobloch, leadoff batter. Had an 0 for 5 in the ball game, 1 for 10 in the series. Strike on the inside corner by Jackson, 2-1.
Well, the base hit given up by Grant Lloyd added fuel to the fire for the Indians. And maybe put a little bit more pressure on Andy Pettitte as they go to Game 3 on Friday night in Cleveland. Andy Pettine's had kind of an up and down year for the Yankees. Due for a hot streak and pitched well against the Texas Rangers in his previous postseason start.
3 ball, 2-strike count. A 4-1 Cleveland lead. Yankees down to their final out. The bullpen, Cleveland, has done the job in this game. The third, off the glove, game stays alive. Travis Fryman back to get it. Chuck Knobloch on at first base.
Ball is hit sharply, and it's a play that I think Fryman, if you ask him, he's going to say, I should have made it. And he's going to be charged with an error. Solid line drive, but off of his glove, and it continues on into left field. Knobloch thought he was out when he saw the ball going to Fryman, but he couldn't handle it, and that's going to be an error on the third baseman.
So with 2 down, Yankees keep it alive. That's why all those runs scored in the 12th inning, the 3 mattered. Instead of being a 1-run game with the Yankees bringing the potential winning run to the plate, the Yankees have got to get more base runners to do that. Derek Jeter, 2 down. Jeter down the right field side, foul, strike 1.
You mentioned the key, Gary. Give yourself a chance to tie the game. Jeter has to get on base for the Yankees to have the tying run to the plate.
Jeter had a double in his first time up. 0 for 3 and a walk after that. Jackson up high to him, 1-1.
Yeah, one thing you have to realize as players and coaches and managers, they have to be careful about what they say about umpires. You can be fined by the league, or you might not get calls in the future.
Jeter looks, Torrey shakes his head. 1 ball, 2-strike count.
The quote should be interesting tomorrow when asked about the officiating in this game by both clubs.
1-2 delivery, strike 3 called. It's over, and Jeter's going to have one final say. The game ends the way it went throughout on happy hitters. Jackson comes on. He's got 4 saves in the postseason. Burba will get the win in relief. Jeff Nelson takes the loss. Jackson the save. Kenny Lofton with a huge bases loaded base hit to bring in 2 runs in this game. But it was the Indian staff that got it done. Nagy a run over 6 2/3, and 6 men out of the bullpen for Cleveland gave up no runs in 5 1/3 innings.
Now we're going to look at our Pepsi play of the game, and Travis Fryman will lay down the bunt that will lead the eventual winning run on a controversial play as he's hit by the throw to first base. Enrique Wilson stumbling and a bumbling, but he's going to make it with the leading run. Indians go on the win by a score of 4-1.
Took 4 hours and 28 minutes, but Cleveland has evened this series, and they head back home with a 4-1 win, and the American League Championship Series tied at a game apiece. Coming up next, stay tuned from Atlanta, the Padres and the Braves in Game 1 of the National League Championship Series. They've had rain there. You haven't missed a thing in that game. Thursday, 8 o'clock, midnight, Greenwich Mean Time, Game 2 of that National League Championship Series. Friday, we'll be back from Cleveland at 8 o'clock, midnight, Greenwich Mean Time for Game 3 from Cleveland. The Yankees have their 11-game win streak ended in this one. They won't forget a 12th inning in which Enrique Wilson did everything he had to do to score and gave Cleveland a lead they would not relinquish. The Cleveland bench had their rally caps on and applauded the go-ahead run, and then added 2 more to it. For Kenny Singleton and all of our crew here at Yankee Stadium, I'm Gary Thorne. Thanks for joining us, everybody. We'll see you from Cleveland Friday night. Final here, Indians 4 and the Yankees 1.